It is almost time to get started, everybody. Just a friendly reminder while we have 26 seconds left before we get going in earnest, please use the chat window on Zoom instead of the Q&A panel. It's just a lot easier for us to keep the conversation going. And hey, Van, nice to see you. Let us know in chat. Let us know your name and where you're watching from. Let us know where in the world you are watching from. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It looks like it is time to get started. We got Gabriel from New York. We got SKC. Oh my God, you guys are going so fast. I can't keep up with you. Corey from, slow down. You guys. Darren from New York. Daryl from Alabama. Sayar from Tennessee. I can't say the name of that city. How do you pronounce it? Murfreesboro? We've got a Miami, Florida. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got someone from the Amazon. Beautiful, beautiful. Montana, Scobie, Montana. Gabriel from Boston, Massachusetts. Tim from Jersey Shore. Hey. I think it's the first Jersey Shore representation we've ever gotten. It looks like Jacques from the Dutch Caribbean. Beautiful. Malaysian representation. Thank you for being here. Ron from Michigan. Shout out Michigan. That's where Benzinga is headquartered. Me from Sweden, Sunil. Thank you for being here from Sweden. Guys, I can't shout everyone out because you're going so darn quick. Give me a 1 in the chat. Here's how we do this. We use numbers because it's easier for everyone to type and for us to keep up with. Give me a 1 in the chat if this is your first time doing an educational workshop with the Benzinga options trading team and Nic Chahine. 1. Okay, plenty of ones. Wow. 1.5. All right, Eric. Okay. All right, this is really good. So then I will give you guys a little bit of an introduction of how we do this. So the number one thing here is that I, Neil, promise you, our guests, our viewers, that you will, as long as you pay attention throughout the session. That means if you're going to get up and get coffee, great, but make sure you're coming back, sitting down, and eyes glued to the screen and listening and participating with questions. I, Neil, guarantee you, my viewer, my audience, Robert, Naveed, Kirk, Corey, Edward, Merrill, Darwin, Sri, everyone that is here right now. I promise you that you are going to come out of this session feeling much more confident going into the markets this week. I promise you that you are going to feel like you have a strategy that you deep down understand how it works and why it works, that you can fall back on and rely on, that you're going to be excited to put to work next week. That is my promise to you. All right. So that's the number one thing about this. And Bala, thank you for joining from San Jose. And looks like Berlin, this is your not your first one, but we're really glad to have you back. We love doing these sessions with you guys. And we get this question all the time. Yes, on the screen, you are supposed to be seeing an intimidating warrior lady with a sword and fire behind her. We will bring on the screen share when we bring on Nick and we bring on Rodrigo and myself and we get started. But I just want to get some housekeeping, some ground rules out of the way. I just want to remind everyone, please use the chat window or chat panel for all of your communication with us, with each other. That way, everything's in one spot. Just ignore that Q&A thing that you see. Just ignore that thing altogether. So the next thing I want to ask you is give me a 1. If you've tried trading options before, give me a 2 if this is your absolute first time ever diving into options. Okay, so you guys are in the perfect spot then. So the majority of you have tried. You tried. You've had some successful ones, maybe not so successful ones, but you need to learn more. And then the 2s, you're looking for an absolute introduction. And I hear you, Gabriel, tried and lost money. I've been there. I think everyone has been there. But you know what? It's good to have an experience doing the real thing. Like everything else, it takes practice. It takes a couple cuts and bruises before you really become good at it. Okay, so everyone, you guys are in the exact right place where you want to be. Your participation is very important. Do not hesitate to ask questions, and try to be thoughtful with your questions. Is that we are learning together. All right. We are going to trade together. So ask questions that you think are going to benefit everyone else, but don't be afraid. If you feel like you're the only one that doesn't know something, ask it, because I guarantee you someone else here is feeling the same question. Okay. So talking about structure, the first thing I'm going to do right now, I have Nic locked up in a cage. I'm not going to let him out yet. The first thing that we're going to do is go through your questions. So right now, drop the first things that come into your mind about options. What when you decided to register for this event, when you decided to watch this video, this live stream, what is the question in your head that you're like, I hope they answer this during the video? All right, put it in sentence format. Give me a full question, not just a broad topic. Give me exact questions, because if you ask exact questions, you get exact answers. All right. And then Nic, I got the keys here. Let me see. Should be able to get them out. Nic, are you there?
I am.
Oh, okay, good. So we've let Nic out. So Nic, what I'm thinking we can do today, like we did at the last workshop that was really great, is first start off with, look at all of these great questions that we're getting. You guys are like going through some of these. How can I be more profitable trading options? Well, that's the broadest question. Well, we'll get to that. When you lose with options trading, who gets the money? That's an interesting question. A couple answers to
the other side.
The other side. There you go. There's someone else on the other side of the table in every trade. How do you buy a call? How long do you wait? When do you sell? What's a good beginner?
I got this.
Nic's got it, guys. All right. So we're going to start off with these questions. And then, Nic, if you wouldn't mind, after the questions, let's start really diving into risk.
I'm going to do that first, because that dives into the first question I saw, which is risk. Somebody actually said risk.
So, just make sure you don't leave our homies hanging. That's all.
What I saw stream, and it was pretty fast, like you said. The first person said, too scary to try. Right after that, somebody said risk. And then right after that, somebody said timing. Okay. So I think if we concentrate on those three things by defining risk in general and saying let's get the scary part out of the way, let's talk about timing, and then we'll jump into spreads thereafter if we have time, which is basically the first chunk of all of the comments that I just scroll through.
Guys, give us a 1 if that format sounds good to you.
So we're gonna, perfect. All right. So
guys, I just want to say that this might be the best group that we've ever had for one of these workshops.
That's why I said that. Almost everybody's tried it. So almost everybody's been tainted with using options one way or another. So let's dial it back and come back into it fresh.
Okay. So this is the part of the show where everyone say bye to the fire lady. She's gonna go away, and we're gonna get into the workshop.
All right, I'm going to steal the screen then.
Yeah, right. Bye, fire lady.
Okay, so there we go. I should be up there.
And guys, just one more reminder. I see a few of you, Abdul, Rob, Adrian, Roxana. I see a few of you using the Q&A tool. Go ahead and just ignore that tool and use the chat tool. That way we can keep all of our conversations in one spot so we can all learn together. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I thought I was doing it wrong because I started a conversation in the chat room while we were waiting. We were playing Scrabble. I won, of course. No. Okay. What we're looking at is the S&P chart for no reason whatsoever. It's just that I usually start there to ground myself, to say, okay, what the world looks like. And then from there, I usually decide how I want to manage risk. Either deploy new risk or manage current risk. So let's start there. What the heck is it? So I'm going to give you a few seconds to see if you can. I do this often, not that I expect the answer. So can you define what risk is? I'm very confident that nobody will get it the way I want it, but I'm equally as confident to say that everybody will get portions of it. The most important portion the initial person, they will get it right. So think about how you would explain risk to a kid or to a new person coming into it. Not just options, risk in general. The tension between the win or lose. Unknown. Yeah, risk. Yeah, well, the unknown is the risk. That's clear.
This is real time, guys. Edward Oliver, we're talking to you right now, and so Nick is looking for, what is your definition for risk?
Amount willing to lose, patience, loss or damage, not control of. Okay, so we have ingredients. Uncertainty, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Now we have both ingredients. Perfect. All right, so I got both ingredients. So I was right. Nobody put both ingredients in the same one, but you got everything. More of the one ingredient than the other. Same as last time I did this. Everybody was like, how much, how much, how much? And then somebody else came in with the next. Okay, so let me tell you how I would describe it. And okay, so this is risk in general. It doesn't just apply to investing in the market. It applies to everything. Even in life decisions that have nothing to do with investing in money. So here's the way I define risk to me. If I wanted to explain it to somebody, it's two pieces other than the carrot. So there is the reward out there, and that's an underlying statement. There is a reward. So the carrot is there. But as far as risk itself, number one, the biggest portion of risk is, you all guessed it, most of you, but you all know it, even if you didn't say it, is the consequence if I'm wrong. So what's the consequence in financial terms? How much can I lose if I'm wrong? That's the number one factor. And I'll debate it. I'll check with my spouse. Okay, I'm willing to go down this route, regardless of what the route is. I'm willing to risk X. I set that amount and I accept it. I'm no longer managing that. I've made the decision on it. The part I manage comes next, which is the second portion of risk, which is, what are my odds of winning and losing? That's the part I manage. So once I accept this risk, I move on to this part. And that's the part I have to keep my eye on and gauge. So if I'm not using options, I do homework on the company. I decide that this hat company is doing well because of XYZ, and it's going to do better because of something else that I did the homework on. Therefore, I'm deciding to risk $1,000 on it. And then time passes, and then I evaluate my assumption as why it's going to go higher and assign a risk. Okay, so I was certain it was going to happen by X% at the time I took the risk. How is it now? Am I still as confident, less confident, more confident? So that's the part that I decide whether to take the trade off or not, the percent. Luckily, in options, it's going to be a given number, which is why I like options. It's tangible. Okay, I got that, Rodrigo. So it is a tangible thing that the options table provides me with. So once I set in options, I like it because I can have a finite amount of money to risk. That's the number one. And it's usually lower out-of-pocket expense, if not credit, than just buying shares. So from that perspective, they're safer than stocks, but they can be more dangerous. We'll get to that later. And second part is, the good thing is it's easy to manage because I can revisit that percentage every day, every hour, every week, depends on how active I am, and say, you know what, when I took the trade, my odds were 85%. Now they're 75%. I don't like it anymore. Let's take it out. So this would be the advantage of using options. The percent of success, the part I manage, is tangible because somebody makes the calculations and offers it to me in a table. So that is risk. If you get that part, you are a leg above. If you realize that part, everybody gets it, but they don't realize that this is the part they're managing. They start averaging down, doing all kinds of funky stuff with the dollar amount. So you have to know that you're managing this part, and I shouldn't mess around with that part. So get out of this mentality of I have to average down. So in my opinion, I don't like to average down. I do it very infrequently, and when I do it, I need a big difference. So if I enter here I wouldn't enter again unless there's a 20% drop at least, or time passed, like here, and then not before 2 or 3 months. Because otherwise I'm just doing the same thing over again and it hasn't worked, and I'm just making my problem bigger. So let's focus on the fact that we understand this. One is how much I can lose, and the other part that I must actively manage, is the percentage of success. That is the important part. All right, so we got that risk out of the way, definition. So it's scary because you're right to be scared, because options move fast. Let's see here.
Really quick, I just want to thank Philip Gillis for participating. Very active participator on the Zoom chat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So the options perspective of being scary comes from the lack of knowledge and what you hear about them. Oh, you can blow up an account using options. Well, you can blow up an account using anything. Options are leverage in a sense to where they allow you to lose money faster if you make the wrong decision. But if you make the wrong decision, you're going to lose money in the stocks too. And I bet you anything, the whole room, with everybody here, has rarely made the wrong decision as to what stock to buy. You're usually off in timing. Oh, dang it, I got in too soon. Oh, I got in too late, or I got out too early. You pick the right things, but the timing is where it is messed up. Well, with options, you can't afford messing up the timing if you're being very aggressive, because yes, you can have a massive home run on your hands, but you can have you can lose half your money with that investment overnight, over minutes, depends. So you better have better due diligence and more disciplined in your entries. It's less forgiving. The same mistakes can happen in regular equities and in options. Options are less forgiving because they demand more, because they give you more. Okay. If you get it right, you can double your money basically pretty quickly. If you get it wrong, you can lose half your money pretty quickly. So you can't go in on a hunch often with big money. The good thing is you can get in on a hunch with small money, lottery style. So you have to get comfortable with what we're looking at. So this is an options. If you don't know options, which sounds like most everybody here knows options, so I won't concentrate too much on it. I just will touch up to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So an options table has two sides. It has put side, this side, and it has the call side. Some people say this is a bearish, this is a bullish. Wrong. Both are bullish, both are bearish. It depends on how you use them. The traditional use of a put option, when somebody buys a put, is they want insurance on stock they own. They don't need I don't have to own stocks in order to buy a put. I can buy it just to trade the stock price action. So I can buy a put to protect stock, or I can buy a put to bet negative consequence on the stock. So what happens when I buy a put? Somebody out there is promising me the opposite. So just to explain it in plain, simple English. So if Bob was worried about his stock, 100 shares of Apple, Bob can buy a put that protects him for the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, 19 days. For the next 19 days, at any point in time, Bob can say to the seller, the person that sells it, Bob can say, you're going to buy my shares at 143 anytime I say. The price does not have to be below the strike price. That's not correct. They can do it at any point in time. Why would they do it now? They'd be idiots. But usually that's why they say price has to be lower. Logically, price has to be not just lower by $1, but logic need not apply, trust me. So when somebody buys a put, they buy the right to stick somebody else with their shares at 143. So the person selling the put better want to buy the shares, because they might end up waking up owning shares at 143. Their break-even point would be $1 lower, because they're collecting $1 to do that. So that's the easy definition of put. How can it can be used? It's not the definition; it's how it can be used. So the person buying the shares is not bearish the stock if he or she is protecting the stock. If they were bearish the stock, they would sell their stock. They wouldn't try to hang on to it by spending money. So in fact, even buying a put can be construed as bullish. It is bullish for the guy selling the put because they want to buy shares down there. Why would they sell a put if they were worried about the shares long term? So it's a matter of symbiotic relationship, almost win-win situation. So that's the ways that the put can be construed as defensive, bearish, bullish, whatever you want to say. Don't get roped into, oh my gosh, look, 62,000 contracts over here, I'm going to buy it. Well, if you've taken any options class before, what would they say? They would say most options expire worthless, correct? So if most options expire worthless, that and that are the two most options. And here, so they're most options, right? So it doesn't pay to chase it. So this looks like a somebody that's doing a spread of sorts on this company for that period of time. So don't read into the open interest like an automaton. Like you see it on CNBC, they are buying the blah, 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 blah. Well, there is a seller for every buyer. So I don't know the buyer. I don't know the seller. Why would I assume that the buyer is smarter than the seller or vice versa? So do your own research and homework and don't pile in. Don't be a term that came up from the chat room. Don't be a sheeple. Okay. So follow your own, make your own herd. So I don't agree with that statement, bearish and bullish. But anyway, so the put side is considered bearish, but I think it's a misnomer there. I don't agree with that, but it can be used for bearish activities, but so can calls. If I sell a call, I'm being bearish to stock. If I sell a call spread, I'm being bearish to stock. That doesn't mean it's not going to go up. It just means one person's opinion. All right. So the scary part is which one, I could lose money fast. Yes. But that's the good part. Therefore, if you do homework with the charts, if you do homework with the price action, if you do homework with the timing and all of that, the scary part can go away. So I can help you overcome the scary part if you're not going in willy-nilly. I'll give you an example. So last week in the chat room, last weekend, I shared my guess. Last Friday, I think, I shared my guess for, 2 Fridays ago, going into last week, which was the event from the Fed, right? The Jackson Hole. I said, I want to buy calls going into the Jackson Hole event, hopefully on a dip, because I think I had my thesis. I either have a thesis of doing something or I wait for a trigger to do something. So I got both in this case. I had a thesis that the markets just want to rally as soon as the event is over, regardless of what he says, Powell. I was right. The market ended up at record level on Friday. So somebody who listened to the thesis agreed with it. And I said, if you get dips, buy them. By buy them, I mean take a position that's about 2 to 3 weeks out with calls and manage the profit levels and the loss levels. So if I invested $1,000, I said to myself, if I get down to 700, I would be out, win or lose. If not, I have the chance to make pretty good upside. And the upside was substantial if you bought calls. And then I offered the other idea would be to sell a put spread, less aggressive, no money out of pocket. So that would be an easier way to do it. Those played out as well, but they didn't pay nearly as much, but they still paid. Doing spreads would have worked. So if you have a strategy and a thesis, or more importantly, best is a trigger. Like if you see from the chart, if line A gets crossed, then you chase, you increase your odds. It'll be less scary because you're not just buying and hoping for an overnight pop. So the scary part can go away. We can overcome it. The timing part is crucial. So let's talk timing. So if somebody is excited about, pick a stock, give me a stock. First stock I see, I'll use. Okay, Ally. Dang it. Okay, I don't know Ally. I did say it. So it's not a very liquid stock. Let me go check the charts. So Ally, I don't know if you know it. That's the old GMAC, I think. GM, when they went bankrupt, they spun out the banking sector, the leasing sector, which went belly up. And now it's Allied Bank. Okay, perfect. Actually, it's not a bad one. So bless you, whoever did that. So Ally. So do I have lines? I don't. Perfect. So here, if somebody says, hey, what do you think of Ally? I'm looking to trade it. I'll say, okay, so just from the chart itself, without even looking at the actual fundamentals of it, I'll tell you there's an action line item here. So I will say breakout. So if it goes above whatever that line is, I'll put the alert. That's how we do it. Chase it. The upside potential could be 58 with a lot of resistance around 55, 56. So as soon as it breaks out, it's going to have a lot of resistance, but the upside could be 58 plus. That's an exciting opportunity. So somebody would jump the gun and buy shares right now or buy calls. If you buy shares, the consequences are not as grave because you have time that's not an element. You don't have a tick-tock saying you're losing money every second that nothing happens. Now, these three candles are pretty interesting. Huge day, bad day, huge day, nothing happened, like basically between these 3 days. So it's going into a contested area is what this is telling me. And of course, they had a huge top up here. What we also have is higher lows with tails. Tails indicate rejection of bottoms. So the bulls are in charge. They just need time to burst out of here. So this is where I tell you, you should wait for the trigger for them to get above here to chase it. Options allows you to chase it before it happens by selling risk down here. So what does that mean? So if I go to Ally, it's not very liquid, but I'll still use it anyway. I'll choose something like 10. Okay, so this is September. It's too short. For me, I don't like 19 days on the clock. It's cheap, but it's maybe too cheap. But if somebody wants to speculate on upside opportunity, this will cost you 75 cents per contract. So one contract will cost you $75, $80. And the upside potential, if you get that burst, if you're lucky, see how I'm using words if and luck. So it's not one I would risk a lot of money in. So $80 I can afford. So what's the upside? Maybe it turns into 400, maybe not. So that would be where I don't have, I have a thesis, but I'm not giving myself a lot of credit with actually winning an edge. That's what I'm looking for. I don't have the clear edge. Personally, I would use October. Is there earnings coming up? No. So back to this. So I would rather use October. I have 47 days on the clock, 45 or so after Monday and Tuesday. So that is more comfortable. You're saying, but you're paying double. Yes, but I have more time to react. It's a slower trade, and I can make it two-sided. How so? So if I'm willing to buy 200 shares of Ally, I would sell a put, collect $100 from it. That would commit me to buying 100 shares at 50, lower than current price. And what if it doesn't go down to 50? Then I made $100 out of nothing. And I would buy 100 calls at 55 for $160. So the out-of-pocket expense would be $60, and I would be long 200 shares of Ally, maybe. What do you mean maybe? If the price doesn't fall enough to where they give me the shares, I'm not long them, but I created income out of nothing. If the price rallies and I get my move, maybe I buy them, maybe I don't. Why wouldn't I buy them? Because then I can just sell the calls and book the profits without having to spend anything. So this would be a double-edged entry for somebody that wants to own shares. Little different for somebody that doesn't want to own share. We can change the strategy to make it a finite credit put spread or bill put spread. So yeah, so doing both at the same time is pretty aggressive. It says, hey, I'm confident in the buyers into 50. Let's revisit. I'm confident of the buyers into 50. That is a correct statement. This is a confident buyer. And I'm hopeful of the upside potential, and I'm giving myself 45 days. I do have a specific trigger. So personally, I would sell the put and wait. As soon as I get confirmation from here, I'll try to catch it. That's personal preference. I know a lot of people that do both at the same time, or one or the other, as if it's going to happen, meaning they jump the gun. So let's talk about odds. Remember when I said amount of money? So let's say I decide to risk $1,000 on this setup, and I'm using this random number. 500 could be appropriate for some accounts. 100,000 could be appropriate for another account. No, I never influenced the count. So the odds, let's talk about odds. So notice I don't have a lot of columns on my tables. I don't care about bid and ask because I usually deal with liquid stocks. I do care about the mark, which is usually the middle between bid and ask. That's the going rate for it that it's going to fill at. I do care about the open interest. Just tells me what is the difference between this and that. The open interest tells me what trades are in the stock now as of Friday. When the market opened on Friday, we had 3,600 contracts. What happened on Friday was 500 exchanged hands. Monday, this number will change according to this action. This will tick to zero again and start counting throughout the day. This is a static number they update once a day overnight. So Monday, we'll find out what the new number is, and then we'll get action. Tuesday, this will change once, then this goes back to zero. So these columns are important to me. This one is somewhat important, especially around events. It just tells me if there's an extra premium. It's like how nervous are the investors around it. It's not very nervous. It's 30. So if you go to an exciting stock like GME or a firm on Monday will probably be huge. This will be in the hundreds, which is not normal. But what does that mean? It means if I buy something, I'm paying too much. I'm paying a premium based on this fear. Okay, so the important part here that we haven't talked about is this guy. Now pay attention. Remember the risk definition, size, and odds? This is my odds maker, the delta. Now you can go and study the Greeks about options and spend a month somewhere in the Himalayas with some monk learning about them. That's great. I'm just going to tell you how I use it. 50, 0.5 or minus 0.5 for the puts is your coin flip. So if I'm buying anything around here, around current price is 54, 50 somewhere here, I have no edge. I'm buying or selling a coin flip. Okay. The further up from it, the lower the odds of it happening. I'll give you an example. So the odds of having it at 55 is about 40%, coin flip almost, right? The further up, like 60, like this is saying in the next 47 days, there's little chance it's going to get to 65, according to this table right now. This changes. There's less than a 5% chance. This one is about a 15% chance. Now, it's not an exact science. So if you try to say, oh, it's 0.148, no, it's about 15%. Okay, so zero, clearly. This one is almost 1 because it's already 40. What are the odds of it being below 40? Very little, just as little as this one. So on the put side, they go the opposite way. The coin flip is around here. It falling to 40 is very little, right? It's falling below 40 is very little because it's almost 1 and this one is almost 0. You see that? And what are the odds for this one? It's closer to 10. This one, 30. So that just gives you the delta is your odds maker. So if I'm managing a position in options, that's where I go. So for those of you who already know options and do spreads, the leg that's closest to current price is the one that I worry about or that I deal with. So here, not to delve into spreads right now, but if I'm doing this spread, the delta for this leg is the one that counts. This one is just above it. So if this is not going to happen, this is not going to happen. You know what I mean? So if somebody says, what are my odds of success here? They're no better than 85% because this is the one. So if I'm selling this spread, I want price to stay at or below, then I want this one pretty low, right? So this is my odds maker. And on the way down, if I had a spread, I would consider the higher leg, the one that's closest to the money. All right.
So Nick, what type of odds of success? So you're in the chat room with pro members.
Yep.
What types of odds of success are you looking for your most common sort of bread and butter trades?
So it depends if I'm buying or selling. I'll tell you my personal preference, and it's not a rule. Other people can make other things work. So if you want, your odds are best if you're at the money. So if I'm betting up and I'm buying a call, I want to be at or in the money. So this is a bad ticker for that. Let's go to Apple. Because it's more liquid. So if I'm going to October in Apple, 145, how about we go here? So it has smaller. Okay. So this is a 19 days on the clock for September contract for Apple. So current price is 147, 148.5. So right here is current price. So if I buy here, I'm no longer need to guess how far up for me to start making money. If it goes up, I'm in the money and I'm starting to gain. Same with here. But there is a fine line. For me, when I'm buying stuff, I like to be in the 30s, early 30s, 0.3, 0.33, 0.28. Like this one's acceptable. This one, I wish there was one in between these two. That would be like 151 would probably be the one I'd buy. But it's not an exact science. It's not that it's got a better chance or not. That's personal preference. I feel like it's cheap enough to where it's not a complete throwaway. Like this is cheap, but too cheap. And this is cheap enough, but not too cheap. So it's a lottery ticket with a pretty good chance of success. And it has enough premium to where not enough people have eyeballs on it. So if price moves towards it, it has more mojo to it. Hard to explain it, but it's a good balance between risk and reward without it being too much hope. Like here's the worst thing that can happen is I spend money on this one and I get the move I want, but it doesn't move as big as I want and I still lose. I mean, how disappointing is that? The closer to current price, the lesser the odds of that happening. But here, at some point, it becomes way too expensive. But depends on the situation. Like I just mentioned earlier, like an Ally, I would rather be closer to here than here because I don't know the stock and I don't know how much oomph it has. But with Apple, 150 would be the one I would buy. Maybe even 150. 151 would be ideal, but they don't have a leg. So for me. And knowing Apple for this specific instance, the open interest is a problem for it around 150. So I wouldn't chase Apple. So I'm not suggesting chase Apple. I'm just using it as an example. But yes, when I'm buying, I want to buy decent enough odds. Now, when I'm selling risk, if you don't know what that means, you need to join the chat room. Selling a credit put spread, for example, I want to sell it to where the buyer is smoking crack, basically. So I want to sell them a losing lottery ticket. So which are what? The ones with low deltas. So if I'm selling here, I don't have a lot of edge. I'm selling close to a coin flip, right? 0.5 is a coin flip. That's what we determined. So if I'm selling this one, I am relying more on hope and good luck that things work my way. I don't have a lot of edge. I may be wrong, may be right. It's about 50-50, close. This one's okay. This one way better, and this one is ideal. So if I want to sell something, I want to be here between these two. This is statistically gives me the advantage, literally. So a 0.15 delta is what I look to sell, which puts me statistically in the 85 to 88% odds of success. And believe it or not, that's what they deliver over the long term. You know it. You've been tracking our performance for a long time. We've been doing this for a long time, Benzinga and I. So that's every once in a while you get a blowout. Like if somebody sold an iron condor last week, they got a blowout on the top end, which is not a good thing. But it happens once in a while, and we had ridiculously high moves. So
can you just construct really quickly just a sample spread? Doesn't have to be something that you would actually take.
Yes.
I just want to see odds of success.
Okay. So let's go here. Let's go with October. So I don't think Apple has an earnings report in October. Let's look at the chart. Are we on Apple or not? Okay, take out the lines. They just reported, so late October, early November is their report, the next report. Okay, so I can visually see there is a problem area around 150 I just already explained to you, but I also see that higher lows, and chances are if nothing changes, we continue doing that, and then they bust out, and the upside potential is pretty big. But I don't trust it. I do trust the support. So I can put that to use. So I see support level at 145. I see much better support around 142.5 because of that one candle and this massive failure up here. Great support around 137. So now, and 140. So now I have 137, 140, 142.5, and 145 that are significant each level of support. So now I keep that in mind and I go to find a trade to sell a spread. So if I'm aggressive and I don't mind owning Apple shares, I'll sell the 135 put. So what does that mean? So if I sell a put, I'll back into the spread answer by re-explaining what a put means. So if I sell this put, I'm telling somebody for the next 47 days, I'll buy their shares at $135. And again, visual 135 would be below all of these levels we just mentioned right here. And that would be an outstanding place to get started for Apple long after a correction, because that would be a correction. So what if I don't want that commitment? What if I want to say, okay, I want to take a aggressive look down there, but I don't want to be forced. I want to have something to do if like alternatives. What happened here? Oh, one. Okay. So instead of selling a naked put, then I can sell a spread. Now this would be a spread. I'm on the hook here. I'm off the hook here. So I don't collect 1.8. I collect the difference between the two, because I'm collecting 1.8 and I'm giving back 1.2 or 1.1. So the net I'm collecting is 0.7. So in essence, I'm trying to make $70 and risking $430. You're saying, oh, that's pretty crazy and whacked out. It's not. Statistically speaking, that's 17% yield on the risk, 17%. So the equivalent would be you buying shares, risking $100 times the share of the price out of pocket to get a 17% rally for you to equate to what I did here with one contract at $70 in a percentage term. So that's the idea of selling a spread. Somebody that wants to short Apple can buy that same spread and risk only $70 to make $430. So there are two sides to every coin. Don't forget that. Who has the advantage? Who has the odds? The seller has better odds, because the odds of this leg, which is the leg, the risk leg when they're selling, are about 75% rounding loss for the buyer. So I have if I sold this, I have the odds in my favor. There's a little chance, 25% chance Apple will be below that, at or below that in the next 47 days. So this is literally the debate, the push-pull between bears and bulls and the seller and the buyer. So the seller of the contract is bullish stock. The buyer of the contract is bearish stock. And it is a spread. The leg that matters is the one that's closest to current price. In this case, it's not anything I would do personally, because my schedule doesn't allow me to mess around with a spread this tight in time and range. So I personally would rather go to November and make it a bigger bet lower. So if I go to November, sorry, I did that wrong. If I go out to November, I would move it lower and get the similar structure where I collect about the same money for the same odds. You can do that. And if you think about it, it will be like a megaphone's fan out. Because the closer in time I go, the tighter to current price my spreads must be. So if I go out in time, if I go to January, I can set a spread that's in the 110, 115 area with exactly the same odds of success as the one I just showed you, only a slower trade, meaning I can go fishing and not have to sweat every tick in the market. Whereas when my risk is at 140, one mini correction in the market, 10% drop, this spread will be in trouble. So that's the difference.
So when we're constructing these spreads with your strategy, you have odds of success given to you as a percentage.
Yep.
Right. So you've got theoretical odds of success. And you're trying to stay around 85 high or higher than that. Sometimes in different markets, you'll do something different. I see that you're about to share the magical spreadsheet.
No, I open it in case I need to.
Okay. So the match, everyone loves the spreadsheet. But the idea here is that it's not a lotto ticket. If the lottery ticket says there's an 85% chance this will win on it. So guys, I'm just curious for folks that are watching, that are a little bit new to options and how they work. Give me a 1 in chat if for the trades that you make, you would like to see 85+% chance of winning printed right on the trade when you make it. Wouldn't that be cool? That's a real thing. You can do that.
So this is a setup for myself that I shared with the gang in the chat room. This was 825, so fairly recent. This was Pinterest catching the falling knife. At the time, it was 55.7. Today, I just opened it clearly. Markets closed today, 57.2. So I usually give it in different sets. First of all, contract time expiration dates is different for any setup. These are selling stuff, credit put spreads and credit puts sold. So if I sold the put naked, I collected 60 cents, and now it's it's already 20 cents almost in the greens for me. If I bought naked calls, they are almost $1 profitable each on a base of 470. That's quite a bit. And if I did a spread, I'm a little bit less profitable because it's a slower trade. So see, fast setup, it delivered the fastest profits. Slower setup, delivered profits, but slower. And these two, all I need is for it not to crash. So that's it. So these two will give me profits regardless, unless we crash these two setups. So yes, the odds are right here. Where is it? Delta, right there. So this is what I want. Low numbers here, which means that these are going to happen unless something extraordinary comes up. So if I take all of my trades to be like that, only extraordinary situations cause me grief.
So guys, I want you guys to let me know just one more time, and I've got someone I want to bring on for just a minute, because we are getting some questions about the chat, and I think we should talk about that. So Nick, if you can go to that tab, that'd be great. Yep. If you guys feel like you could learn to trade like Nick, if given the time, give me a 1 in the chat. I'll tell you the answer. It's one. The answer is yes. You can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just whether or not you feel confident right now in yourself and your ability to follow a strategy and have discipline and stick to it. Ultimately, that's what I mean. If you guys haven't seen that elsewhere, you're going to see it a lot. What separates successful traders from unsuccessful traders is the ones that can stick to their strategy with discipline and not let emotion make them do things that are irrational. Yeah, he is really good. So what we've got on screen here right now is Benzinga Pro. Nick, could you just let me know what you're doing in the chat room there?
I'm answering questions. So earlier today, we had a meeting on, which we do every Sunday, by the way. It's a live trading session, not trading session, live charting session like we're doing here. Only this one had, last week's had almost 100 tickers. This week it was like 80, but it took longer than last week to go through. It was literally 2-hour video. So we met, and somebody's asking for the recording of the video, which I will post as soon as I'm off the call here. There was also a question about Coupang, and I addressed it saying, it's a falling knife. Eventually, I think Wall Street will come around to it, but you have no advantage from the stock chart itself, so you're going to have to do homework on the stock. So this is where all of us, whoever members are, we chat back and forth about anything all day, every day, even on the weekends. So I won't commit to being in the chat room on the weekends all day, but every time I pop into my phone or my PC, I'm always checking the chat rooms to see. By Monday, I would have answered all the questions for sure from over the weekend. So looks like John Wick is new. Isn't that a name of a movie?
Yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah,
yeah,
it caught my eye.
Yeah, like John Wick. Wow, we got a celebrity. No.
Yeah, we got Keanu Reeves in the chat, guys. Well, guys, Nick, before we get back to it, I just want to spend a brief moment on this, and we'll get right back into where we were. So we just left off with theoretical odds of success for this trading strategy, and you're doing this all day. You're doing this with folks in the chat, and it's amazing. And so that's our bookmark. We'll go right back to this. But guys, I just wanted to let you know, everyone that's watching, that you guys all qualify to get, I think it's 69% off of the full Benzinga platform and access to Nick's chat room in there. So that's Benzinga Pro. And I'm going to steal your screen really quick, Nick.
Yeah.
That's going to be full Benzinga Pro access. If you don't know it, I highly recommend you take a look here. It's got every single thing that a modern trader needs to trade. Every single thing you could possibly need is in there. And it has maintained. Let me back up here. Benzinga Pro. If you go to trustpilot.com, which is pro verify, which is product verified reviews, a company cannot remove bad reviews about their product. For example, everything here is legit. It's more legit than Google reviews. maintains about 4.5 stars. And just go through the reviews and check us out on Trustpilot. What we're giving you right now is access to Nic's ongoing mentorship, so you can get his trade ideas every day, trade along with him, and the full Benzinga Pro platform. And if you join before midnight, we are giving you a free laptop, so that all of you that put the ones in before, ones and twos, that you had tried options a little bit, or were completely new to them, we want you to join us in this chat, join this community of Benzinga traders, and represent. We want everyone outfitted with the best tools, the best hardware, and the best strategy to be the best traders on the internet, period. So that is the deal that is available to you guys for attending this workshop until midnight. So if you have any questions about that subscription, drop them in the chat now, and I'll answer them very quickly so that we can get right back to the workshop. The laptop specs, the laptop is a Windows laptop with a minimum of 8 gigabits of RAM, and it's a name brand coming from the US. That is, and it varies by wholesaler availability, but the idea is it will run every trading application. How do you join? There is a link right here. I'm dropping it in the chat. It should be in both YouTube and Zoom for you guys. Kay is asking if we can deliver to Malaysia. We'll try, and if we can't, we will send you a gift card. How about that? So the normal price of the subscription is over $4,000 a year, and we're bringing that annual subscription to 1.6. All right, 1.6. And that is for the lifetime of your subscription. Next year, you're going to get 69% off. Year after that, 69% off. Year after that, 69% off. You get the fully loaded essential plan for Benzinga Pro, which comes with the unusual options activity scanner, which usually costs extra, several $100s a year. JK is asking, your app doesn't work on Mac, does it? Yes, it's browser based. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on a Mac. You can use it on Windows. I use it on my Mac laptop. Tons of people use Macs. I mean, actually, it's starting to be, well, it's a mix. For desktop, it's mostly PC users. But yes, it works for Mac. Most definitely, my friend. Tim says that he uses it on Linux. So there you go. Or does it run? If I join now, is it prorated? If you have questions that are about getting in at this deal, contact our man, Rodrigo. And I know that Rodrigo is behind the scenes right now. He's backstage just itching to get in on this because he loves these workshops. Because frankly, these are fun. We love doing these with you guys. And he's in chat. Rodrigo just mentioned it is a 14, which is double our money back guarantee. It is a 14-day money back guarantee. For Benzinga Pro, it's normally a 7-day. But we're giving you a 14-day. So that's 2 full trading weeks to try it. Get in the chat room, try out the trade, see if they work for you. See if this is something that you can keep up with. And if you don't like it, no problem. But you know what? We guarantee you're going to like it. That's why we give you that 14-day money back. All right. So there you go. That's the deal until midnight with the laptop, with Benzinga Pro Access, with Nic Chahine, chat room, all that kind of stuff. Trade ideas every single day. So that should answer all of your questions. And Nic, I think now is a good time to get right back into the workshop.
Okay. Just
you're chatting with people right now, aren't you?
I am. Share screen. Okay, so yeah. Somebody was asking in the chat room. Actually, listen. So this is diamonds. Nic, I'm struggling with committing to a strategy that works. I find myself jumping around. Basically, they're saying they're playing around with ratio spreads. It seems like they have more consistency with this method. What are your thoughts? So I said, I like to start simple. And I asked, the easiest thing is to run it by me next time they want to do something. So we'd have a live discussion of what they're trying to do to see if it's appropriate or not. So there are literally thousands of ways you can construct a spread in options. And how you get to it is depends on how good you are, how fast you are, what your thesis is, what your timeline looks like. So a whole bunch of factors. There's no one correct way of doing something. So remember I told you I was long into the week, and I got too cute and limited my upside potential. So I sold an open call into a spread. I turned it into a spread. I limited myself. So it was a huge success, nevertheless, but I did leave a lot of money on the table because I chose to get complicated. Most often with options, simple is better. And in this case, I would just wait for them to come and hit me up next time and say, I'm looking. So ideally, this person would say, you know what? I see a move in XYZ stock. I'm looking to do a ratio spread of sorts. Here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? And then I'll probably say, I would go out longer in time. I would go a little bit higher, something like that. So I won't know until they hit me up with it. But that's the kind of stuff. So I know Neil keeps saying that you'll get trades from me. I promise you that the best benefit out of this is not the trades you get from me. It's you establishing your own system and getting comfortable to do them on your own, because this is possible. And even then, I'm not afraid you're going to go, because there's no substitute to trading in groups. I promise you that it's much more fun, much more reliable, fewer mistakes if you have hundreds, if not thousands of other people you're pinging against. So if you're not shy about saying something like Diamonds just did, then you're less likely to jump into something that's going to cause you grief. What if somebody says, oh, no, don't do this because I've done it, and trust me, it's going to go wrong this way or that way. So trading in groups works. I do share my trade ideas, almost one a day, but and they will be complete video. And usually I give a picture about the macroeconomic conditions, a picture about the company itself, and why. What's the thesis? Why am I doing this now? Am I trying to catch a falling knife? Am I trying to catch a breakout? Just trying to pass time? And then I usually share a video with how I do it in four different ways usually. How I sell a put if I want to, sell a put spread if I don't want to, do a naked put, how I buy a call, and whether I like it or not, how to buy a call spread. Because usually my least favorite is just to buy a call. I like to sell stuff because nothing comes out of my pocket. In fact, I collect money to open trades. So now we're talking bullish indicators and such, but that would be a discussion for a little bit later. Hammer and inverted hammer are bullish. I'm not an expert on candles. I can interpret them. If we have time, we'll talk about technical analysis in a little bit, but I can promise you that I won't be sophisticated with it, and I'll be super effective with it. I'm very confident of my technical skills, even though I had no technical training whatsoever, and I pin myself against the biggest one out there, including Carter Worth on TV. So simple works, and it's totally the method how you get to your decision doesn't matter. If you love using candlestick studies, so be it. If you love using harmonics, so be it. If you're like me, you want to keep it simple, I'll show you how I do it, and it's rinse, repeat, and it's as foolproof as the other ones.
All right, guys. So that's enough about the subscription and all that kind of stuff. Nick, I was wondering if we could answer some specific questions, or if you had something you wanted to cover. You tell me.
Okay, so I think since somebody just opened the door to charting and such, we can open it up to charts, and somebody already did. When you were pitching, they were asking about JWN. So I just drew these lines. I did not have them. However, I did discuss them in the chat room. And then the next day, the first day they fell, they reported earnings or said something, and then the company collapsed, fell 8%, 9% in one day. So two people came to me in the chat room. They said they wanted to catch a falling knife. Mike was one of them, I believe. And I said, Mike, I wouldn't do it. This is just the headline from the company itself, and it's got the family that can't let go of it, and they keep messing it up with headlines, so I wouldn't touch it. And Mike listened. Somebody else said, I know you said not to touch it, but the wife wants me to get into it in IRA. I said I would highly not do it for me, but if I did, I would do it this way, and it was to sell puts lower. And the next day, this happened. So technically speaking, now they lost the technical level. So notice I don't have tools on this chart. I do have one study and one just mathematical representation. So I do this every time. Can you guess what's my favorite tool analysis and my technical analysis tool? What's my number one tool?
Give them the clue. You gave a little clue last time. That was fun.
I did. I don't remember what it was. What could it be?
Well, you were drawing it.
Oh, okay. So I did mention it already. So I said.
Oh, you mentioned it already?
No, I just mentioned something.
Let's see if they know. What is Nick's number one
tool?
Look,
Samir Zamar is on the right track. The red line. Yeah, of course. That's on the right track too. Eyes, Mike, you've been here before.
Not fair, okay. Mike.
Yeah, Mike. That's not the same Mike, by the way. So anyway, yeah, Mike hit it. Eyeballs.
And we're getting a question from YouTube. Aaron Tillman, I just want to let you know that we see your question. That's very specific, and it might not be something we want to cover because that falls into the realm of financial advice, which is what we're not doing here. No. But we might give a broad approach to just like overall strategy on setting stop losses with options trades.
Okay, yeah, setting stop losses is definitely part of the conversation. Yeah. Okay, so and in general terms, it doesn't have to be specific. So eyeballs, volume profile is my number 2 tool. So eyeballs is my number 1 tool because it helps me see what happens here last time. So once they lost these two, now the floorboard is opened. We don't know how far they want to go. Technically, it could go as big as this down. That's technically. So it could come to here. I'm not saying that's where it goes. Technically, this will be a resting place, a potential target. See, I just drew this line. Meanwhile, there are some other lines to pay attention to, one of which is this little line right here. That was a big battle in this candle specifically, this one right there. So this one looks like a pivot. They came here, they failed, they came, take it out, touched footing, and basically launched this whole mess right there. So this is where it is right now. Look at this. It's not a coincidence. So the Monday, Tuesday, super important. If they fall below that, now we start looking at this line right here. Right. So this is where you take it one step at a time. Is it time to catch the falling knife? If I catch the falling knife here, quote, I am hoping it's the bottom. That is not the type of stuff I do. I don't hope it's the bottom unless it's falling hard and I have a specific level where I can own shares, then I'll sell puts against it on a bad day. Even I don't catch the bottom, but because the VIX is spiking, because its implied volatility is high and the puts are exploding in value, I don't need it to be the bottom. It can have red ticks thereafter, and I still would have caught so-called bottom by selling the put at the most expensive spot. So eyeballs are my number 1 priority. The number 2 is volume. And I can tell you there isn't much support in here. In fact, this whole thing is a vacuum of volume. If they lose footing here, there could be this suction effect down to here. So again, I'm not forecasting it to be, but there is no why. Look at this. That is too fast. Easy come, easy go. Let me see. Has it been consolidated before? And decimation. Okay, so this area might be the rest stop. So 25. 26 to 25 would be a good place to venture into catching the falling knife. Otherwise, why not here? I mean, look at how much volume is down here in the last 5 years. And look how much volume is up here. So once you're below this heavy cloud of volume that's more recent probably. Nope. Wow. Yeah, okay, so let me rephrase. Yeah, so this is not a good situation. The best case scenario is they come back to the problem area. The worst case scenario is that they revert lower. So be careful with this one. All right. Based on this chart, do you trade sell put buy? I would avoid it altogether. Because it's just not. It's a suboptimal situation. Look at it. The weekly chart shows that the bears are in complete control. Every pop they're selling, and then they're buying the dips, and they're just selling the pops, but they're descending in 5-year channels. So why should this be any different? Is it an expensive company? It's retail. It's depleting revenue. So there's nothing exciting about it. Okay. So now we're asking specific questions. Boy, that Sava question is way too long. I can't read this fast. Invest in leaps. That's a good question, timing wise. So Walter is asking, what about leaps? So let's go and define what leaps are. I actually don't know what they are. I know that it just means that a long-term
That's it.
Option.
It's just a
No,
single
I know what it
euro.
means. I just don't know if there's an actual definition of X number of months makes it a leap. Like, is it 18 months? Is it 12 months? To me, it's anything that has a 2022 on it. Is it a leap now? It's no longer a leap. So now is it the 2023 leap? So leaps mean long dated options. So instead of using September, October, November, or December, I go out and say September of next year. That's a leap. So I think it just means a long dated option. So why are they different? They're not. The only thing is they move a lot slower. So if you're like me, busy during the day, and you don't have time to babysit every tick, the leap might be the best way to do it. Now, if I wanted to buy shares and I don't want to risk 100 shares times the price of the stock, I would buy a call in the money or at the money or deep in the money. Why deep in the money? Because then it acts more like a stock, less like an option. So an option up here on a bad day when the stock falls loses fast, much faster than an option way in here, which acts more like a stock. So if this was a bad day for Apple, you'd see this one maybe lose 25%. This one would probably lose 15%, maybe 12%, I'm estimating. So that's the advantage of doing in the money and leaps, slower trades. And then you can you can sell calls against them, like covered calls. You're saying, but I don't own shares. But you own the right to own shares, therefore you can do it. They call it the poor man's covered call. I used to call them diagonals, but apparently now they're called the poor man because it's so much easier to say than diagonal. Poor man's covered call or diagonal. So whichever way you want to, it's just a new term that everybody's latched onto. What tool do I use to capture momentum? Not sure I understand what capturing momentum means. If you want to say momentum, you have to know who's in control. So it's probably going to be a combination of moving averages and how the shorter term moving average is moving faster than the longer term one. Eyeballs. Moderna is falling. So yeah, VWAP will work. So Moderna, be careful when you're selling spreads. There are sectors that you shouldn't do it in. Biotech is one of them. Why? Because if every day is like an earnings potential. For me, you don't have an edge when an earning can break out like an earnings potential any day. Look at what happened to Sava. So it's suboptimal to be beholden to a potential headline like that to blow you out completely. You lose the edge. You lose the edge of selling put spreads, for example, to create income when it's not a quiet stock that you can foresee. So Moderna, mRNA. I wish I was alive when they started the flu vaccine and I was into business to understand what are the dynamics of the second year, third year after inventing a new flu vaccine. I don't know what the potential. I know that buying it up here is asking for trouble. I know that. I don't need a genius degree in investing to know that this is a suboptimal situation to start investing in a company. I mean, what are my expectations? It just rallied zillion %. I mean, who is buying it up here? Not me. So now Moderna could have a painful Monday. I'm not sure if the headline was old or not, but they have complications from the tainted vaccine, and if it jumped countries, the tainted batches, then the question marks start piling up. Company-wise, the P&L starting to look better because they actually have income now versus, say, Novavax. So, which they still have to prove themselves with the vaccine hitting the market, etc. So, if you wanted to chase a vaccine that hasn't started making money, maybe this is the better one. Even though I don't like the company. They've been in business since 1989, and they don't have one vaccine on the market yet. And they have vaccine in their name. I find that very odd. They've reverse split a few times. The last time was so they don't get delisted, and then they get saved by Moderna, by COVID. Would I short Moderna? No.
Nick, really, really quick. I just want to welcome a couple people to the chat room. We got some people that joined. So M. Joe Bass, Michael, Bard, Elise, and Menezes. Welcome to the Benzinga Pro Options chat room. You get full access now to Benzinga Pro. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Where's Rodrigo with the horn? Rodrigo, he just unmuted. Yeah. Welcome, guys. Get in the chat right now. And start looking around, start breaking some things. Check out the platform. We're really happy to have you. Now we can trade together. It's all about easy to understand language, constant improvement. No matter where you are in your journey, it's a wonderful place to be, to start having a more consistent strategy, and developing a strategy for yourself to make income in the market. So awesome.
Don't be shy about participating. Everybody in there is pretty nice so far. And believe it or not, if somebody asks a question, everybody pitches in. They try to answer. Sometimes it's like creates some noise, but it's better that way than to have somebody go on and answer.
I think Rodrigo's ready with the thing. We got to do this when we get new members. Do it, Rodrigo.
Guys, I just want to say here, congratulations. Welcome to the family. This is the biggest international community of options traders. So welcome to the family. We're happy to have you here. And the education's great. Unbelievable, guys. So happy to have you here. Let's go.
There we go. There we go. That's how we do it.
So somebody's asking about Pfizer. Just to give you perspective, it just got back to 1999 levels. So that's good and bad. The good is that maybe now it's breaking out and it's going to go to like 60 or higher. But the bad is it took you so long and a pandemic to get there. It's bizarre. Now, this is a company that stands on its own without having the COVID thing. So I don't know what it's rallying on, but this is not an obvious entry point, especially if you look at this. What's comforting is that it has solid support below. So this is a candidate where if Monday, through no fault of its own, it falls more, anywhere below 45, it becomes interesting from a trading perspective. In fact, 46 should hold. If not, they will probably burst down to maybe 45 to 43. But along here would make sense, like if it collapses, to sell puts or put spreads to own shares. Look how stable this zone is short term, and long term it's even better. So anything at 43, in fact, I'll put an alert here. So in December, they tried to break out and failed miserably. But look how long it took them to come back. So that is a strong base. So when they come back to the same breakout zone, look, they thought about it here. That should be a good place to start looking. These two candles are pretty cool. So better down here than chasing up there for sure. Netflix is a call. Netflix, we went long in the chat room a while back, and it was an easy buy to dip moment. It triggered a few. We talked about in the chat room last week. I think there were a couple of triggers. I can't remember the outcome. Let me see. Maybe I have lines. Okay, so this was my long idea, and look how it played out. Almost perfectly, except it didn't dip. It just dipped, and where we went long, it just took off. This could be a breakout, but this is the debate between trendline breakouts and level breakouts. I default to level breakouts. So how about this? I wouldn't get long unless it goes above 565. So above 565, then it could reignite a new trade higher. Rookie? Me? Okay. AMD strategy now. AMD, I love the company. I loved it lower. I had a discussion on it today in the video. So if you become a member, you can click on the video and see a whole discussion of AMD. So I would rather it fail and come back and take that out into an inverse head and shoulders to tackle this. I would rather actually wait AMD for around 65 to go long, very, 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 very long. Why 65? We got long-term conversation. This is not a good base for this whole mess of things. So AMD, I went long during the pandemic panic, and it was such an easy trade. I would love to repeat it the next pandemic panic, or just panic. What is this? Okay. So seasonality rules suggested usually trades, and they didn't work out this time. So just too high for me for an investment, totally tradable. The breakout is coming, if not now, on a small dip and then higher. So if the markets stay bullish, the trade is buy the dip or buy the rip. So if it fades, buy it to swing it back up above here with a tight stop, or be ready to chase it.
And we got a poll going right now. The question is, do you think you could make better trades with Nic's help with the strategies that we're talking about today? So make sure you go over there right now. We've got a really good number of the people that are viewing right now, close to 100% on Zoom. I think we're still at 100% on YouTube. So check out that poll if you haven't yet.
So somebody is dying about stars. I mean, STZ, a constellation. All I can tell you is it's a good base, but better hold it. So if you lose that recent bounce here, whatever that level is, the low of 211, if they close below 211, I would totally get out, because technically it's a doom scenario. By that, I mean, it could fill this gap down here. That's not where I'm calling it going. I would buy the dip if that happens. I would get long here with a tight stop if I wanted to swing it up. Or, you know what, better yet, why not use Tilray? Why? Because I bet you they trade this similarly, and Tilray is a lower dollar risk out of pocket and the best pot potential company, in my opinion. It used to be CGC, which STZ is tied to. Do I use money flow index and RSI? Well, I don't know a lot about the money flow index. I know it's a built-in thing out of Thinkorswim. RSI is a consideration because it really shows you just sort of relative strength, and where, you know, I definitely don't like to get long stuff that has a very high RSI, but RSI all by itself, I need your help with it, is not a, the RSI all by itself is not a trigger for me. There is a specific way I could use the RSI, but it's complicated and I can't, like there's a rare setup where the two very slow RSIs go to different levels with the moving average of 200 moving average anyway. So it's complicated to where I say it's a blind buy, but I don't use it often. I have TOS screening for it, and if it comes up, it pops up and tells me to look at them. Now, somebody asked about EWG. So EWG is, I'm short EWG. So let me see how I can show it. This is the ETF that tracks the DAX, but it's heavy with one or two companies. So I think from memory, SAP is like 10 or 11% of it. So you have to keep that in mind. The dot-com bubble, 2008 financial crisis. And the reason I'm short is I bet that it repeats this time. So I've been green in this trade, and I've been red and I'm green, and I haven't booked it. It's a small dollar amount, more of a picking a fight. But if it breaks above this, then the moon is available for the stock market in general. So put an alert. If EWG breaks into an all-time high, you want to be long stocks in general. BABA, Upstart, UPST, I initiated a long miles ago. So whoever took that long, if they bought calls, they made, like, paid off their house. If they sold put spreads or puts, they made max gains. If they bought call spreads, they made max gains. No way I can chase it up there. BABA, I believe in the company. I discussed it today in length, and I can tell you one thing. So there's a headline in BABA that we don't know about. So BABA is an incredible company from the P&L perspective. Amazing earner. Only company I know that can generate $75 billion in one day on 11/11. Guess what? What if? Just think about it. What if BABA cancels 11/11 because of pressures because the big pick is that they're being a monopoly. How big is stick in the eye of the government saying, hey, look, I made 80 billion in one day. What if they cancel that event? I'm not saying they can. I'm not hearing anything. I'm just, the company itself is definitely a catch a falling knife candidate. But boy, if you did it and didn't close out. Last week, not last week, I don't remember. I shared a long BABA trade, and then this happened. I sold a put spread for November here. But in 2 days later, it was green. About 50% green of my maximum gains came in like 3 days. I closed it. So I bought it back. Guess what? I can reopen it now for the same amount of money, if not more. But I'm not going to, because I don't know what's going on. There's something I don't know. I don't have that edge. I'm out. Wish I'm long. I suggested it long in the chat room. and I will stay long because I booked some profits. So I can't remember if it's green or red right now, but it's a long dated bet. December calls at 750, I want to say. Hold on, do they have them? All I know is I wanted to sell some covered calls and I decided not to. Yeah, I'm long these calls. I believe I paid under $1 for them. Let's say $1, I can't remember. And I sold already contracts that expired this week at $9. I'm sorry, I did pay 5 cents to buy them back before the day ended because I didn't want a chance ruining a nice setup for last week, sorry. So this is this coming week. I did not sell anything this week. On pops, I might. 3 lines. Oh, okay. So somebody's asking about these lines. Wait, Baba. These 3 lines. This is a regression representation. So basically when they say reverting to the mean, that's just what it is. It's not actionable for me. It's not like I buy a stock on the white and I sell it on the blue. It's just a visual representation of where I'm at given the channel that we're in. It just basically any Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands are good. They just tells you when things are extended, like likely to revert. They're not Bollinger Bands, but they are the same concept. I'm telling you, listen, you know, I'm not an expert harmonic or, you know, any extensions guy, like pushes and moves, 5-3 moves and all of that. But it all comes back to the same thing. I promise you that whatever method you choose, pick it and stick to it. Don't have 6 different things on your chart. You'll go bonkers. I have 12 here, but I promise you they're not for that purpose. So for example, one of them is to tell me price to sale so I don't have to go in here and look it up. All right. And one is for a simple RSI check and that I don't use as an alert. 2 or 3 are for different moving averages and Bollinger Bands that I don't use. And I usually have them as like trying to get code to program my own code in there for shortcuts, not because I watch 12 things. I promise you I don't. I have volume profile for intraday and variable range. Like here, see these little volume profiles here? So that's one of them. The variable range is another one. I have a static range is another one. So all 3 of these, 3 of those 12 are volume profiles. And then you have this one is counted as 1, which I don't use as a trigger. So keep it simple. Space, the final frontier. So I hated space up where it was, and I like it much better down here. So if I wanted to get long space, I said I'll sell puts into the 20s when it was up here. Somebody said, when will you catch a space falling knife? I said into the 20s. So on here, that would be the time to sell puts. I bet you could have gotten puts into the teens. So buy leaps in space or buy shares and sell calls against them, or buy leaps and sell calls against them would be my method of doing this. This is the only publicly traded company that's going to transport people into space. If you believe in that concept, this is my only play. Let me see here. I haven't looked at space and I don't remember. Let me see here. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to own it at 20, I can sell the 21 October put and collect money for it. If I wanted to own 1,000 shares, I can collect $1,000 right now and promise to own them at 21 and break even at 20. Falling knife. Falling knife. This is a falling knife. Baba is a falling knife. It's a stock that cannot find a footing, that keeps falling, making lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. First rule of catching a falling knife is you want to find footing. So the first step in a bottom, believe it or not, the bottoming is a process, it's not a V-shaped recovery. It shouldn't all be like boink, boink, like we did in the pandemic. So it should be a rounded bottom. So the first step is establish a floor, like here, boom. No lower low, and then suddenly, bam, new lower low. Therefore, there is no trend. They're selling the top, they're buying the bottom, selling the top, buying the bottom. I would assume they continue to do that. Now, in Alibaba, Why would anybody bother? Because what if this spot is this one right here? Looks pretty scary, or this one. But if somebody that has guts and discipline to stop out could have ridden it all the way up to here. Same here. So, but then again, sometimes it doesn't work out. So this is where you put a stop. Sometimes you open gap down and you don't have an opportunity to get out at the stop level. But like here, if somebody put a stop at 252, guess what? They got out down here. The stop does not work like that. Buying a call, if I'm trying to catch the falling knife, I want a lot of time on the clock, or make it a lottery ticket to where it doesn't cost much, and if I lose it, so be it. So either commit to it with a tight stop or throw something to the wind. Like on Friday, I threw 2 cents on what contract? I forgot what it was. One of those high flying stocks. I can't remember. Wish maybe? Yeah, Wish. Wish was a 7.1 on Friday. I saw an opportunity for it to go to 7.5. I literally threw 2 cents at it. And so $20 basically. If I did 10 of them, it got to 7.2, I think, 7.19. It was so close, but it didn't happen. I was like, dang it. Anyway, so be purposeful and don't cheapen out. I get too many people that say, I bought calls for this week, and what can I do to save them? Meanwhile, they're not down 90% on their value. Well, there's no saving a call that is down 90% without a miracle. So, but if you're way out in time, then there are some things one can do. You're down 30%, 40%. There's still time. Somebody can move it differently to give it better odds and stay long. But when you play with current week or next week, short days, short period of time, then the options, the pool of options gets slimmer as far as what to do with it. What is a good entry? All of this conversation, you didn't get an idea of what I'm trying to say.
All right, guys. Hey, Nick, great stuff here, man. Definitely. Just wanted to take a quick little break here because we did get quite a few new members here, and I definitely want to give them the Benzinga welcome that we always do, because we do appreciate that they take the education seriously. We know that options, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and you rely on us to give you the best options trading ideas and strategies. So let's go with this. No Alpha, Small Reality, Chris, John, Mark, Lizard, Boris, Joey. Welcome to the family, guys. This is what I'm talking about, guys. We do have to take the education seriously, because at the end of the day, you have to remember something. Options is not a walk in the park. There's a lot of people that, they start straight to options with no market understanding, and bad things happen, right, when you rush into things. But as you can see in the chat room there with Nick, he's there all day, like from 8 in the morning. I've seen him later at night. He'll put a game plan about 7 or 8 a.m. every morning on time, basically charting over the indexes, letting you know what are the levels that you need to be looking for. Obviously, if they're, if the S&P breaks a support level, might not be a good day to start a long position, but part of this is reading between the lines as well. Obviously, Nick has been doing this for decades, but he is nice enough to mentor people that are starting or that are experienced. There are people there that have 30, 40 years trading options, but that doesn't mean you've been profitable for 30 years, right? So ultimately, we need to find the right strategy, guys. If you're just, a put buyer and a call buyer, that does limit what you can do. As you can see, Nick does credit put spreads, and he knows, the whole way around this. And ultimately, that's what you need. Because if you're just doing calls and puts, you're either trying to do just lotto plays, right? And that's not good, right? Because you have better odds playing the lottery than just buying calls way out of the money. So as a strategy, we do need to use all the tools that you have. Willie, I see that you're a beginner and we need to stay in contact. Absolutely. We will stay in contact. We are very big on the education here. We do encourage responsible trading and credit put spreads with Nick. Yes, they do work. Nigel, how are you doing, brother? Good to see you again. Glad that you are in the workshop here with the education, my friend. So as you can see, there's the chat room, and basically you can do all of your research on Benzinga Pro. You have even preset workspaces, but We will go a little bit more in detail with that, but Nic, this has been great here, man. And, just want to be able to highlight that, where Nic is doing this on Sundays because he cares about his members. And obviously we do this on Sundays. Nic has a full session with his members, chat member only, right? So you have to be in the options mentorship in order to attend that meeting that we have on Sundays. But Nic, we've gone over a lot today. This has been a great, great educational session. Everybody here seems to be very happy, and learning is the great process. But Nic, just a couple, words from you here. What you want to leave them with here? I know that everybody wants to, join the chat room, and I'm sure you want them there as well. But what are a couple words you can give them here? Because we know you're busy, you got to get back to the chat room. Couple words here for them on what to expect on the chat room, what you're doing there. Going over that.
Focus. I hardly do anything willy-nilly. So like you mentioned, thank you for reminding me. Every day before the day starts, I post the plan for today for me. I usually put a blurb as to what's going on, if there's something to highlight, and then charts with lines for every ticker, the indices, the ETFs, and a couple of the futures contracts. And then before the week starts, like they're asking in the chat room, where's the strategy video? Where's the strategy video? And I will come back and share my 10 minutes that lays out the week. Last week, if somebody watched them, 9 minutes, I think it was last week, they made a lot of money because my only outcome, my only things I was watching, one, the small caps, and B, I wanted to be long going into the event, the Fed event. And that played out perfectly, like to a T. So this week I have another continuation of the strategy. So focus. And then I see questions here before I leave. I'm not able to, do I like the wheel? First of all, tell me what it is, and then I'll tell you if I like it. I'm not from Wall Street, so all these cute names, I share Iron Condor videos, but I don't like to get too jargony with they call it whatever, elephant and broken wings and whatever you call it. Risk is risk. And if you understand your risk reward profile and your edge, then I'm fine with it. So we can discuss the wheel strategy and whatever else is on your mind, and we'll go from there. But the first step is to stop trading on your own. It's a lot more fun when you do it with a group of people.
Absolutely. And I'm back, and I just wanted to say, Nic, thank you so much for being here. I think it's time to put you back in your cage, though.
Okay, I'll love it. I'll hang out. I'll leave, and I'll leave you hanging without a screen to share, or you can take it away from me, whichever you want. Okay, all right. Thanks, guys and gals. I appreciate it, and talk to you later.
All right, see you, Nic.
Bye.
All right, guys, you've got Neil and Rodrigo here. Rodrigo, did you already shout out our new family members?
We did the shout out here. New family members. Remember, you have your normal family, and then you have your trading family, and we welcome them like we do all our members, Neil. Absolutely.
Very, very good. All right, guys. Rodrigo and I are going to stick around. What you see on the screen right now, of course, is the Benzinga Pro website. And then just some reviews from trustpilot.com. Highly recommend that you check out our Trustpilot reviews. I think they tell you the whole story. So there are a couple things in Benzinga Pro that I think you guys should know about. You guys already have the deal. You know that you get this awesome tool, but maybe you should learn about it a little bit more. And we didn't really get to dive into it much. So I was wondering, Rodrigo, if you don't mind sharing your screen.
Yes.
We can pop in there. Yeah, you're
course,
ready to
man.
go. All right, guys. And so you guys, you got the link in chat. The link is also in the description for our YouTube people. Aaron, thank you. Rodrigo is now taking over. And guys, just really quick, based on what you saw from the chat room and what Nic was saying, how would you like it? Let me know by giving me a 1 in the chat if you would like to every Sunday get an overview of what's going on from the top down on all of the indices, the ETFs, the futures market, and then individual tickers with levels so that you know going into the week what your plan for success is. Right there for you, as interactive as you want to be. And we're getting all ones over here on Zoom. We're waiting for that like 15-second delay on YouTube. So we shall see what you guys have over there. But it is really great. So we had a couple of people asking about like ETFs and stuff like that. Yes, 100%. I mean, a lot of times the options trades that we're making are on ETFs themselves. So if you're for whatever reason just into ETFs, well, this is options trading with those ETFs. And then a lot of times we're using the sector ETFs to get an idea of which sectors are healthy right now and which ones are hands off. And then we use those healthy ones to pick our good trades. And that's where Nic is picking specific stocks or specific ETFs if he feels that's best. And then giving levels and doing that overview. But it's also on Sundays, that's your opportunity to ask about whatever tickers you're interested in. And he goes through like 75 tickers. It's insane. But that's your opportunity. So like everyone's given us a 1. So before the week even starts, everyone, it sounds like they like to have a plan. So really, if you want to get that, you can get that right away. This is going to go away at midnight. 69% off for the rest of your life. And that's 69% off. It's 19% off with an annual subscription. We're giving you an additional 50% off the annual subscription with the link that you guys have. Gives you full access to Benzinga Pro with unusual options activity, which is an add-on, which Rodrigo will go over as soon as I shut up. And then you're also going to get, of course, access to that inner circle chat room with Nic Chahine, and all of the other traders that are in there. All levels of experience welcome. All right. So what are we looking at, Rodrigo?
Well, I just want, first of all, I'm so pumped because this is my favorite part of this presentation, this workshop that we do. We definitely are big on education, Neil. That's really what we focus on, responsible trading, especially for options, which are more volatile. But this is really, this is included in the options mentorship, guys. So I want you guys to get an overview of really what this is, right? Because it's a very powerful tool. This is something that retail traders use all over the world. You have equity firms that use this. You have, even hedge funds. There's algo reading on our headlines. And ultimately, this is your best friend, right? Because Nic is going to be your best friend as well. But you need to always, get trade ideas from other places and maybe confirm them with Nic, right? And that's what I see typically. People get picks and trades because at the end of the day, we have hundreds of writers, we have hundreds of coders out there, and our writers basically are working day in, day out, writing articles for you, right? You can see here about Chewy, but then you're going to see articles that we write that involve different trades and gives you other trade ideas. Like, look, several shares. Companies in the retail space are trading higher following FDA approval of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID vaccine, right? So you already see a full list of trade ideas, right? That are going to possibly, you obviously need to do a little bit more research in that, but this is really the beauty of this, right? You get trade ideas from all over the place. This is the details tab, and I'm putting my mouse over that so you can see where to find it once you guys join. And as you can see, we have this is stuff that we do manually where it says conference call scheduled in 3 days, Q2 earnings confirmed in 3 days. So instead of finding out what the earnings are the next day, you set up your watch list with the stocks that you're interested in. I have this watch list that I call Smart Money Picks. And I do have quality stocks here. I have Beyond, Chegg, Chewy, Coinbase. I actually might take Coinbase off.
That's a good list, man. I'm liking this one. One thing I want to point out really quick about the earnings is a lot of times if you're using another platform, sometimes even often brokerages, they will have the earnings date wrong. On Benzinga Pro, that's not the case. And here's why. Benzinga Pro doesn't only just have retail trader customers. We also have apps and businesses that use our data, that subscribe to our data. And the only apps that are going to have the accurate earning dates data are going to be the ones that subscribe to us. So really, Benzinga itself is at the center of all financial data in the retail trading market. So the earning dates on Benzinga Pro, you can absolutely trust. If it says that's the earnings date at that time, that's it. And if you click on that and you got the link to the conference call, that's the right link. You can listen to the earnings announcement that way. And then sort of, Rodrigo, I just wanted to add an extra layer to what you're saying, because you're showing us a ticker. But everything in Benzinga Pro is the start, middle, and end of picking a stock, deciding on your setup, and then executing. Everything is in here from start, middle to end. And then in addition, you're getting the community of traders and the mentorship of Nic to make sure that you're doing things with a strategy in mind. But Rodrigo, I don't want to mess up your flow. I thought you were in a good flow. Keep going. I just like that watch list, so I had to comment on it.
Yeah, and look, guys, I mean, you can find all this information in Benzinga Pro. We have, like I said, we write articles about this, and ultimately, yes, this is my smart money pick here, where I'm, safe money. You're not trying to go too risky, but at the same time, you're buying quality stocks. But this is one example, right? I just have my details tab and my watch list. I just want to go over the basics, but I did also want to show you this, right? This is when you see this in red, this is called a Benzinga exclusive. So this means that we at Benzinga are breaking the news. This is ultimately such a great tool, because I know people that literally just bank on this one filter, and there's hundreds of them, and I will show you some of them, some of the ones that I use. But as you can see, we broke the news here on Friday, August 27th. As you can see, we are very detailed with these PRs, because ultimately we want to get the data out to you. This was done in the Power Hour hosted by our great Luke Jacoby. And as you can see there, this was a great exclusive talking about Chegg. I love the company. I actually used them a lot when I was going to LSU in finance, and I'd use them again. It's a great company. It has great future, especially with, homeschool and all that stuff. But this is the power of Benzinga, right? You are getting the news, we're breaking the news here. And obviously, as a Benzinga Pro user, you get dips on this, right? And eventually you will see this in the other brokerages. There could be some lag or delay because of the data flow, or because there's additional steps, right? But since the news is being broken in Benzinga, you will be able to have quick access to this. And this is not the first one we did. As you can see, we did another one here on May 25th, right? We brought the CFO in. So we're bringing you on the people that you want to hear from. And ultimately, they come here because they want to talk to you. They want to talk to retail directly, right? They don't like, any preconceptions of their numbers or status of where they are in the market. So that's, the problem that you see in news today. News typically does have a spin, like it or not. There are special interests behind it. Here at Benzinga, we do the total opposite. We are focused on retail. We're trying to bring you the facts so that you can set up, you can make your own mind and you can determine if this is bullish or not. And as you can see, everything is very well detailed and structured. And that's why, I do like this. But moving on, I do want to show you my one of my favorite tools here. I have the advanced newsfeed. So as you can see in the advanced newsfeed, I filter this, number one, by my watch list, smart money picks, of course. And as you can see, I have categories, right? And I have the exclusives. I have analyst ratings, what's hot, market moving exclusives, press releases, top stories, and whim, right? Why is it moving? I will touch on that later. Don't worry, guys. So as you can see here, I only get what I want to see. So, and this is filtered by my watch list. So I know why things are moving. As you know, Peloton has been very active. I used to trade this a lot, particularly Peloton. I do know that $100 mark is something of like a little bit of a bed here. As you can see, that $100 there has always kind of kept. So, this is how you get trade ideas, right? And you confirm with Nic. You can see analyst upgrades, downgrades here. This is one tool, guys, right? Now, and I filter this only by my watch list, but I'll show you something else that I do. I have a COVID scanner here where I pretty much have some of my favorite keywords, right? The power of search, the power of Google. If you don't, you're living under a rock, because this is what moves markets, right? So FDA approval. This means that our proprietary technology here at Benzinga is going to show you every single PR that comes out related to FDA approvals. If FDA approval is mentioned in the PR, you will get it here. As you can, everybody knows what happened here. I'm sure everybody in this chat knows about this pick. Well, you heard it here first, right? Right there. Okay. So you get the news, anything related with FDA approval. There's so many other picks here that I've even gone over. We went over Moderna last time, and I know that a lot of you guys banked on that trade. We're just showing you how to use the tools, guys, but this is something that you can filter by other keywords. So for example, if you are in the steel industry and you want to learn about steel, right? You got X, you got Cleveland Cliffs, you got Nucor, right? But ultimately, having these tools here, you see these articles, we are writing these articles. Okay. We are giving you long ideas, short ideas, technicals, trading ideas. We want you to be successful.
Yeah, guys, love it. So looking at Benzinga Pro, all right, Rodrigo, you just went over like 9 different separate things that are in it that all tie together. Give us a 1 if you think that you could spend a little bit of time with these tools and that you would find them useful. Give us a 1 if they seem like these would be useful in a trading strategy. All right, so we're getting a bunch of 1s right away. All right, guys, give us a 1 if you feel like you could use a real-time news feed with dependable, accurate information to make decisions on which stocks you want to trade. Throw a 1 in there. Yeah, do multiple 1s. Give us 2 1s if you feel like that's the case. Give us an 11. All right, so there's a bunch of 11s. Yeah, and really, guys, we're Rodrigo. I think I speak for you here. We're both extremely proud as traders to work at Benzinga and be able to work on this product and provide it for 100%. Other people that are trading. Like, this is like Rodrigo and I are living our dreams right now. So, you know, it's so cool for us when we get to show you these tools on here. It's really, really cool that we get to work with people like Nic Chahine, and he's on our team. I mean, frankly, like every time I talk to Nick or we do one of these workshops or whatever, I've said this before, but it's still the case. I always go back to the way that I do my technical analysis or the way that I look at a company's fundamentals. And at least one thing changes. I always learn at least one new thing from him. So just like any of you guys that we're inviting you to join us, I'm a student forever. I'm always learning something new. And Rodrigo, I know that you're also a student, always learning something new, and that a big part of that is making consistent income using the stock market. But sometimes, you know, what we're doing 99% of the time is shooting for consistent income with a disciplined strategy, no nonsense, no following what CNBC says, no following what some goofball on a social media says or anything like that. But every now and again, we get to have a little bit of fun. And I think you had a little bit of fun with SBRT the other day, didn't you?
Yes, I did. We actually do these workshops every week. And I mean, I just happened to bring it up last time. I had $16 calls in this bad boy, $20 calls. I bought it when it was like 16 and I sold around 45. You know, it's okay. 950% gain. I'm okay with that. But ultimately, this was purposely a lotto trade, right? So we always need to know the risk that we're taking, Neil. So know that you can lose it. Know that if you're doing a call, you know, it could go either both ways, right? But in the chat room, we're all about long-term consistent growth, right? Because ultimately, you know, it just takes 3 bad calls to really kind of hurt you, but, you know, could be even quicker. But yes, guys, you don't need to be looking out for home runs on every trade. You will get them. They will come. Just don't be desperately looking out for them, right? Because ultimately, the higher the reward that you're looking for, the higher the risk, right? So yes, Neil's totally right. We are living the dream because our dream is to educate and help retail traders around the world make better and more informed financial decisions. We know there's a lot of misinformation out there about options. We are trying to clear the smoke. We are trying to educate you and protect you so that you have a way to defend yourself, right? That's why these tools are here. Now, I know that, you know, steel is one industry. There's a new virus there going on around RSV. As you can see, you know, people were asking what's going on with Moderna when it made this huge run right here, 350 to 490. Well, I'll tell you what the news was. I'll tell you right here. And this is all in the advanced news feed. So Moderna is trading higher following the company's announcement that it received FDA fast track designation. So this is for their against the respiratory syncytial virus, right? So a lot of people thought this was moving because of Delta. It was not moving because of Delta. As you can see right there, you know, you saw that quick sell off. So ultimately, guys, you have to be careful with the trades, but you need to have the best tools out there. As you can see, we did a Benzinga, you know, a great breaking news here with Johnson & Johnson. But the advanced news feed, you can use it by many filters. Basically, you categorize what you want to see here. You can see the categories here, how much you can filter this by. You know, screener, you can even put by the float, price, exchange, sector. And this is one tool, guys, okay? I want to move to the next one here. I have an advanced newsfeed just for Benzinga exclusives. You literally, it seems like every day we're pushing out another one. So you can see here how many breaking news we do, right? We had the reopening stock summit. So we do these conferences where we bring in different companies from different sectors to bring you the truth, to bring you the real information out there directly from them, right? No spin. And as you can see, you'll have more than enough trade ideas just by going off this. And you can see the check one was done recently, right? The other trade that I love to do in Benzinga Pro, analyst upgrade, filter, buy my watch list. Let me show you the right one. Smart money picks. That's what we like to do here. So right here, you have it. Everything, every single upgrade, you'll see it right here. So filter this by your watch list, trade your portfolio, trade what you know, come back with these trade ideas to Nick. Let's see what he thinks, right? You also have a calendar analyst ratings here, right? So you can literally look at your watch list, smart money picks again, right? CRM, Roku, look at the downgrades, look at the upgrades. Are people in the markets bullish, right? So I also want to give you guys some information. We are working on an analyst rankings table so that you are able to find all of these analysts and rank them by who does better than the other, who's more right than wrong within their time frame that they, give that target. So if you do want to follow smart money, this is literally like what you do, right? You have these firms that have their analyst and research departments, and they put out this information. Many times they are bullish on the stock. Many times they own stocks. Many times they have businesses outside the actual stock with that company. So the analysts from that particular research firm, you will see them, you will be able to follow them on that tool. The other thing I'm touching here, the movers, right? This is the only scanner that is available basically during the entire market hours, right? 4 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. So you have your gainers pre-market. I can tell you on Robinhood, you can't even see what's happening until like 9:30. Okay. And all these other brokerages that I'm not going to mention, their scanners don't open until 9:30. So this is the only way that you really can go out there and start scalping. So if you have a full-time job, single mom, single parent, or, husband and wife, and you want to get ahead, right? You're trying to make additional sources of income and you're busy, right? You're working 9 to 5. This is your best friend. Pre-market, you have all the moves, totally filterable by market cap. If you want to do large caps, right there, 2 billion to 50 bill. Right? So you're playing a little bit on the safer side. If you want a little bit more price action, you can filter this by a lower market cap and you can try to find something under $5. And as far as the sector, you pick what you want to trade, right? You need to know what you want to trade. You need to have a thesis, right? You don't just randomly pick these. Right now, maybe you might be looking at healthcare with Delta, right? Maybe information technology, right? I wouldn't be looking at real estate. That's my personal opinion, but you can pick what you want to trade here. And if you want to go on after hours, I know a lot of people, that get off at 5, this is your other best friend, right? You got a lot of best friends here, as you can see. So after hours, you have every single moving stock after market. I don't know if you know, but different brokerages, they stop reporting the changes, at least when you have them on your watch list or whatever it is that you're looking at. They only measure regular working hours. So if the stock plummets 30% after hours, you're not even going to see it there. Your watch list is going to say it's still up. So with this, you have the possibility of trading after hours with the only scanner open after hours, pre-market. If you do want to basically, just go for the gainers, you can do that. If you want to go for the losers, you can do that. And I think this is one that we did the other time. I think 2 Sundays ago, we were going over this pick, right? And as you can see, we were looking for losers because I told you that you could use this to spot reversals and buy reversals, right? Well, here you go. It broke the 52-week low after hours, which ultimately doesn't mean much to me. I do like to look more at regular hours as far as like determining my levels. But as you can see, strong rejection, and you push it back on the way up, and that's a pretty nice move. So you can use this in so many different ways. Like people that short, they always like to go to the gainers and they see something up 500%. They short it. So you can use it many different ways, and you can also put your earnings monitor here. Wait, yeah, this is the unusual options activity. So this is This is something very important, guys. It can help you feel sentiment out. Something I do like to do here is that I filter this by a watch list that I have. It's pretty much FANG, right? So Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, all that stuff. And you can see there what is the sentiment on the biggest large caps. Large caps run the market. If Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook are down, very, very likely, you will see the overall market just down. So this is something that can help you measure, right? Get a future insight. There's nothing we can use to look at the future, guys, except for these types of trades, right? Because you can filter them by your watch list and it gives you the data that you want. So there's a lot of noise. You're going to be getting thrown a lot of things in the market. You know, you're going to hear a lot of things from CNBC, buy this, buy that, buy that. The next day they pull the rug. It's happened to each and every one of us. So it's time that we start finding our own trades, because by the time you see this on CNBC, it's already too late. Okay. Big money selling and they're going on the sell side. They're going on the short side. That is something that is new. As new traders, nobody told you and nobody ever will, but we do have to keep it real for you guys, because we do want you to be successful in the market. There is a lot more in the market besides buying and selling. There's a lot of relationships, within these companies that do that. So understanding that will give you just a holistic view of what's going on. There's more than just buying and selling. There's always, different things in the market that as a new trader, you will not know, right? A lot of people that I've talked to, ultimately, they lose a lot of money because they buy something as soon as they see it on CNBC. And they're wondering why they always lose money. And that's because you're following the herd, right? That is typically retail, right? Following the herd. That's what we don't do here, right? In the chat room with Nic, you get a lot more than that. I remember he made a trade on TLT, the 20-year US Treasury bond. Everybody was bearish on it. And even CNBC, right? Even Bloomberg, everybody was bearish on it except Nic. He had his own thesis, his research. As you can see, he's always throwing down education. We're so big on education because we know that's where we're lacking as retail traders. You have to understand that, we got the short end of the stick. That's just how the market was structured to begin with. So that is why we're giving you the tools. That's why we're trying to leverage the playing field. That is our mission statement here at Benzinga Pro. We want to help retail traders improve their trading. We want to empower retail traders. Okay. We know that, like I said, we got the short end of the stick. So now it's time to do something about it. What do you do about it? You get the tools that you need to be a successful trader. I'll tell you that equity firms, hedge funds, they spend tens and hundreds of millions of dollars in research. And you have to do something at one point besides going to these public pump and dump chat rooms to get confirmation of your bias, right? You need to talk to people that are serious about it. How do I know these people are serious about it on the options mentorship? Because we're up here at 6, 7 in the morning talking about trades. We're talking about, possibilities, scenarios, improvements that we can make in our strategy, getting that feedback from Nic. All these videos that he's putting, these happen all the time. This is a regular day in Benzinga Pro with the chat members learning, and at the same time we're earning. So this is, to me, one of the best tools out there. And I can tell you that because I was a trader and I've been a trader, and I did not have any of these tools available to me, right? I used to have about 20 tabs open, and all of the information I had was expired, 30 days old. It wasn't actionable, right? I did not know it wasn't actionable to begin with. And then later on, as you see that people have these kinds of tools, you will realize that you've always been behind the curve. You've always been trading behind the 8 ball. You are just starting to realize this today, because if somebody has all of this information, and you know that data is king, data is power. Knowledge is power. That's no secret to anybody. You having this information at your fingertips with these custom alerts, all of these filtering capabilities, right? You have COVID plays, short tweets plays, smart money pick plays. You have, long trading ideas. You have all filtering by sources, right? You can filter by the screener if you want to go specifically into the market cap of the news. Let's say I only want to get, this is the perfect place to do this. Let me go here. So in this scanner, right, I have FDA approval. So I know a lot of you guys like to trade volatility, and I'm not gonna say anything about it. I do it as well sometimes. Momentum trades are, you can use those here and there, but don't just do them all the time. So as you can see here, I have an FDA approval keyword search around every single PR that has come out related to the US stock market. This is important because if you're depending on brokerages for news, I'm going to give you a wake up call here. They don't specialize in financial media. Okay. They just have the checking account and the savings account. Okay. Financial media is a totally separate animal. That's what we've been doing here for over a decade. So we have all of the relationships within Benzinga Pro to bring you this beautiful ecosystem of everything that you've seen here and more. So we have a department here called licensing, which basically is able to provide this news in your brokerage. So if you're using TD Ameritrade, Schwab, Fidelity, Interactive, Webull, whatever it is that you're using, and you see, breaking news there, Benzinga news there, or, earnings, all that stuff, that is Benzinga licensing the news out, right? So you obviously want to get it from the source because there's a lot more customization that you can do here. Like you can see FDA approval. And if you want to go on the deep end of this, you can literally filter this by the market cap. If you want to get FDA approval notices and try to find a low market cap, this is where you would do it. You literally can select the market cap or the price of the news and the type of trade ideas that you want so that you trade what you want to trade. Volume. You can also do that. There's so many things you can customize here that really you don't have anywhere else. And how do we do this? Because this is a product that is basically made and built for retail traders. It was not built for equity firms, despite they use it because it's such a great tool, but this was built for retail. So it's so good that we even see, obviously the bigger companies wanting to have access to this because there's a lot of algos that trade our news. I will give you one example here. Okay. This is one of my favorite companies, hands down, ALF. They're headquartered in Miami. I love this company. And well, I mean, you can obviously see that insane move, and you're probably asking what happened. Okay. And it's fine. Don't worry. I'll tell you. I know because I have Benzinga Pro, but I'm going to bring you the news here of why that happened. Right. So let's just take a quick overview, the overview tab, a pretty basic chart there. Right. Very, very good. I do like this chart so I can just check momentum on it. Right. But ultimately I want to bring down the news here. Right. So let's see. Breaking news. This was right here on about June 17th. Okay. So let's go to June. As you can see, we've done some PRs here for ALF. This is a company that's doing like advertisements, tablets that respect your privacy, unlike Google that just, sell your information to a whole bunch of, places. This is totally respecting privacy of users and still being able to provide some of those gains to the Lyft drivers and Uber drivers, which are essential to the economy here. So here you go. This is the breaking news that we broke, Benzinga broke, right? Calls it stock undervalued. They made a $2 million buyback, okay? This is in Benzinga, right? ALF announced this here in Benzinga. You see this move here, right? I mean, let's measure it, guys, okay? Let's see exactly what's going on here. June 22nd, all right? June 22nd. There you go. Let's try to put this a little bit. June 22nd. 3 months. There you go. June 22nd. $7 all the way to $22.05. You're talking about a 300, like an insane amount of gains that you could have gotten as a Benzinga Pro member just by having this news right in front of you, basically, not having to wait to get the news. This is how you get in early. You're wondering, how do I get in before the algorithms do? It's very simple. You need to have tools. You can't think you're going to beat billionaire hedge funds and billionaire equity firms literally off of pump and dump chat rooms. That's just, I don't know how that misconception happened. I don't know how people like got into that mentality. I know that GameStop and AMC really messed up I guess the mindset of what our real expectations should be, but those things are not normal, right? Ultimately, you need to have the tools on your side. If you are trying to trade it, remember, there's two sides to the trade, like Nick said. There's a buyer and there's a seller. Who do you think is smarter? I mean, I wouldn't even put it to that level. I'd say, who is smarter and who has the best tools? What tools does this person have compared to the other person? And that way you will know. who is the best trader. But ultimately, there's a lot more here besides Benzinga Pro. The chat room by itself, to me, is one of the greatest tools here that we've had, because you can have full direct access to Nic Chahine. He's answering every question. He's giving you all the information that you need, giving you feedback on every single trade, giving you charts. You can see Mildred here is asking, how do we add the horizontal volume bars, like, technicals, indicators. Nick right there responding on point as expected. Right there, you can see that it takes about 2 minutes for him to answer. People sharing news on trades, people that are just starting, trying to find out about it. This is a beautiful tool. There's no competition to it, guys. There's just nothing that can compare to this, right? And ultimately, this is included with the options mentorship. So by itself, it's an amazing tool, but with Nic Chahine as a mentor, 90% win rate, with the unusual options activity that you can filter by your watch list, you can filter by many other things here, also included with the laptop on this. So you're getting so many things in this, guys, and it's already discounted a lot. I even lost track of how discounted this is today, but I can tell you that for $16.83, if you're getting Benzinga Pro, the chat room with Nic Chahine, unusual options activity, a free laptop, chat member sessions only on the weekend, plus the scanners that we're going over, the advanced news feed that we are going over that is totally filterable here by whatever that you're looking for by keyword, right? Keyword search on the advanced news feed. You get the exclusives, right? You get the analyst upgrades, and totally filterable. Once again, everything is customizable. This is made for retail. This is for you, mom and pop, with your business, trying to make money on the side. Whatever goals that you have here to make additional income, you're trying to make income, not lose, right? People that come into the stock market, they come in with the right intentions, but they don't come in with the right education. And that's the problem. You have all the good intentions to make money, but somebody's profiting from you not knowing what to do. Somebody profits from you not having education. And if you're tired of that and you keep doing the same thing, you have to be insane to think that things are going to change if you're not changing anything with your strategy or with the tools that you're using. So this is an upgrade that you have to do, because if you're trying to bank, if you're trying to make 5K, 10K, 20K, whatever it is, and you just want to do this on the fly with pump and dump chat rooms, that's the perfect recipe to blow up your account. It's happened to me twice. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that I did. These are mistakes that every retail trader that I speak to does. And unfortunately, it hurts more some than others, right? Let's say you go all in on some of these dumb trades that you don't know what you're doing and you get wiped out. You never even got a chance to understood what is a call. So education is important. Doctors don't just jump into the ER. My mom's a doctor. I can tell you there's decades of education and lifelong continuous education. So even if guys, you join the chat room and next year, once the price goes up, you will still renew at the same price, even once the discount goes away. So this is important because education is building blocks of success. You can't get around them. You need to have a certain understanding of the market. So like I said, from the beginning, retail got the short end of the stick. It's time that you upgrade yourself to getting tools that help you, right? You're competing against equity firms that have billions in research tools, right? And if you just can't wing it when that's the other person on the other side, because ultimately, if you don't invest in your education, that comes pretty expensive, right? You need to invest in your education. You need to invest in your brain. You need to invest in your skill set. Otherwise, it's just not going to click. It takes time to learn this, but at the end of the day, you have the mentorship by Nic Chahine. You have these amazing tools, and this is what you need to get started. There's no way you're going to get around it. You need to put in some time and work. Trade around the community. I fell victim to something called vacuum trading. That's how I like to call it, because I was trading pretty much just screens around me, basically no interaction besides computers, news, data, charts and all that stuff. So there's no feedback element to that. And I'm going to tell you something. Feedback is good, but not all feedback. I don't want feedback from Reddit. I want feedback from a verified, successful options trader like Nic Chahine, who's written books and all that stuff, and who's been with Benzinga for over a decade, helping option traders get ahead and really understand how this whole market pretty much works. Because if you don't know what options are, I don't think you should just jump into buying a lot of calls and taking big trades if you don't know what you're doing, because I get these calls and, I don't like those calls, right? Where people, they lose 100 grand, they lose 200 grand, and they don't know why. And they have never taken any sort of options education at all. So my question is, why would you put so much of your hard work, and earned money into the stock market if you don't know what you're doing? The reason is, like I said, expectations. We need to have proper expectations. Not every trade will be a 500% gainer, and that's okay. That's not what we are looking for in the chat room. We're looking for long-term capital growth, long-term account growth, protecting your capital and your investments, playing with the house, not against the house. This has been working for over 10 years. You can see the reviews. I mean, that's something that's been there for a long time, but all the research tools that you're getting there, screeners, you get let's not forget, the only scanner available, pre-market and aftermarket, guys. You have signals, and I didn't even touch on the signals, but that's another great tool that you guys can look at. We have the best support out there. Literally, you will have your own account executive here. If anything does happen, which I doubt, but if anything does happen and you have questions, no problem. We have a full team of staff, basically 24/7, available to help you with any issues that you're having. If you don't know how to log in or you need help, I can tell you that many brokerages out there don't have a number, or you have to wait about I don't know, like 10 days to get a response, and probably an email response. I saw some comments on Coinbase there. So, I mean, I know what's happening with Coinbase. Now you can imagine that we take you guys seriously to the point where we actually focus on giving you top of the line customer support, because we truly care about your success, and you're going to have all these things in one place. So forget about going to 20 different places to find, outdated information. It's time that you actually get the data that matters, right? It's time that you get ahead before you hear about it on CNBC. There's no way around it, guys. The market is structured this way so that you as retail loses money, period. Don't believe me? Try it, okay? Sure, you've already felt it. That's just how it is. It doesn't give us the advantage as retail traders, which is why we're giving you these tools. That's why we're giving you all of this information, so that you can actually do better trades. You can find better trades, and you can consult. You can get feedback on your strategies, on your picks, on what you're doing wrong. But you have to have the discipline. Okay. You can't just join for the education, go out there and do some wacko trade, lose all your money, and then, expect different results. If you're doing the same thing and it's not working and you join, we expect you to obviously, follow the conservative trades that we're doing, because ultimately, what's the point of getting the education if you're at the end of the day going to be manipulated by greed, right? You need to have some self-control. You need to have some discipline. You need to know when it's too high to chase. And ultimately, that takes decades of experience to really kind of really twitch that in. But Nic has been doing this for so long. He's mentored me, right? He's helped me become a better options trader. And, I can go into that later, but ultimately he's helped me straighten out any option trades, any questions that I've had. And then we were like right here, we were just thinking about why don't we just, a lot of people want to hear more from Nic. A lot of people want to learn from Nic because there's a lot of, misinformation about options there. So that's why we decided to give you guys full access to Nic Chahine. So he's there all day, all night, on some weekends. I mean, it's a weekend. He has a family, of course, but he's still there. He's there all day, and he cares about you guys. I can tell you because, I can see it in the chat. I get the feedback from people that sign up, and it's great that we are able to make a difference. It's great that we are able to help an entire international cohort of options traders become better traders, get the education. We know it's not easy, but that's why we did this. So this has been great, Neil, going over all the tools. Just a few things we touched on.
Well, hold on. So Rodrigo, you've been going for a long time. I want everyone in the chat, let us know if you have any questions about Benzinga Pro, how this deal that we're offering you works, or how Nic's chat room works, or anything like that. If anything, you missed anything, you got in late, anything kind of whizzed over your head, anything like that, drop your question in so we can get those answered. And in the meantime, I just want to thank Ken Alexander. And I'm going off emails. That's why everyone's name is weird. M. Severson, Grant, Jason, Swatring, and Eames 82. Welcome. welcome to the Benzinga Pro options mentorship program. You guys are going to love it. I'm very, very happy to have you here. Nigel says, don't invest what you're not comfortable to lose. Bull eat bears, but bulls eat, bears eat, pigs get slaughtered. Exactly right. Exactly right. That's why we're focused on a disciplined strategy for creating income, not throwing money at lotto opportunities. That's like kind of irresponsible to do it that way, right? So that's not what real traders do. So Bun Band is asking, what is the final cost? I'm going to paste in the exact deal. So we're bringing this down 69%. Bun. So there you go. It's in the Zoom chat. I'm going to drop this into the YouTube chat too. All right. And then over on YouTube, Currency Droid, I'm looking for a group that is focused on short-term option trades or swing trades, not long-term options. Will I find that here? Yes. So when Nick finds something that he thinks is really good for today, like right now, like over like maybe tomorrow or the day after, he's going to drop it in there. Other folks are going to do the same, and then Nick's going to review it, and that's just how it works. And then he doesn't really do anything leap wise, like anything that's out like a year. But if you're interested in doing leaps, you can run that by him, and he'll just take a look at the stock or the ETF, look at the chart, look at the fundamentals, and let you know if he thinks you're crazy or not.
Like he did with the Chinese stocks. Remember when everybody was asking about Baidu and Didi, and he's like, I wouldn't trade it, but if I would trade it, this is what I would do, and everybody banked on that trade.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And then Bun is asking, you guys have a phone app? Yes. Yeah. If you open Benzinga Pro on your phone, it works. Absolutely. What about shipping to, I'm assuming that's New Zealand. I don't know NZ. I think that's New Zealand. So yeah, guys, remember this is 69% off. You're getting access to Benzinga Pro. That's got just the best data. You can see here on our Trustpilot reviews here. It's got the best team, the best damn support there is for any stock market tool on the planet, and it's got Nic Chahine's Inner Circle chat room. And if you sign up now before midnight, not only do you get that 69% off deal, you also get a laptop, a Windows laptop with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, with all the hardware power that you need to run all of your trading applications, including Benzinga Pro, of course. Shipping to New Zealand. If there is any region that we can't ship a laptop to, that we cannot ship to, we will simply send you a credit card with the equivalent amount that our wholesaler charges us, so that you can just buy one in your region. You can go up to the store, or you can order it online to someone that ships to you easily, Michael. So we're going to make sure that you get that laptop, that special gift for joining us today. So yeah, more questions, guys. Michael, that was a good question. Thank you for that. And Bun, you had 2 great questions. I really appreciate that. Let's take a look at these reviews. I mean, I think something that we don't focus up on enough is our support. Let's see. Usually when I scroll through these, someone says something about our support. Customers, here we go. Customer service is excellent. The platform is excellent too. Many useful features and filtering capabilities from Boro. These are people all over the world. These are verified reviews. You can check them out here. I'll drop the link in chat. Here you go. Here's the link to our reviews, all verified. There you go. For better or for worse, the good, the bad, and the ugly, what everyone is saying about Benzinga Pro is in there. And we do maintain that about 4.5-star rating. When do the laptops get shipped? So we're giving you, if you join at midnight, an extension on our money back guarantee. So normally you get 7 days when you get Benzinga Pro money back guarantee. We're given 14 days. So you get 2 full trading weeks to try the options mentorship program with Benzinga Pro to see if it works for you. Our goal, we want everyone to become self-sufficient and be able to pay their subscription many, many times over. to make the subscription just a small investment in a much more prosperous trading career. That's the idea. But we know that life events come up, so we're extending that period for you. And then once you've shown that you're dedicated to the mentorship program and that you're going to take your trading seriously, we will send that laptop out to you. So after you register, after you sign up, you will receive an email that's asking you for your shipping information, so we can send you that laptop.
I forgot to mention really quick that everybody that is a Benzinga Pro user is a verified human being, not like the pump and dump chat rooms you got outside there, Neil.
We don't have any bots in our chat. Every single person in the Benzinga Pro chat is a real trader trying to be successful, just like you and me. 100% right. So any other analysts besides Nick? Is this a live group every day? If so, how active? Nick right now is the only mentor in Benzinga Pro, but that's okay because he is second to none. Is this a live group every day? Yes. How active? I'm not sure what to compare it to. It's very active. Every time you go in there, there are people in there trading, and Nick is very available. Probably more available than he should be. But he's in there. So thank you for the question, Currency. Okay, how do you join and get the discount and laptop now? Rashim, that link is just below your comment on the Zoom chat. Chirag is asking, what brand of laptop are you giving? It's going to, so we get our laptops from various wholesalers. We're talking brands that you know. So it's going to be HP, Dell, Lenovo, Asus, Acer, something like that. It's not going to be a no brand or like sort of like a blank brand from Alibaba or anything like that. We're sending you quality laptops that you can actually use. So you're using it for trading. You can use it to watch Netflix. We don't care. We want to get you just set up to make sure that you have the hardware, the tools, and the guidance. Those three elements to make you a successful trader. So that's what's important to us, because we know a lot of beginners just might not have the equipment. So we're trying to hook you up. Currency Joy is asking how many people we have in the chat. I actually don't know. It's got to be quite a bit by now. I would say there's at least 200, I think. I don't know how many are active. So this is fairly new that Nick has started offering this and basically agreed to join us and stay in Benzinga Pro all day, every day. So it's growing at a decent pace. But it's not crazy. We have never gotten to the point, and if we do get to the point, we'll do something about it, where it's too noisy for it to be useful. So it's a very good amount of people of all backgrounds and all levels of trading options and stocks and everything. Freddie, will I get credit for my other Benzinga services if I upgrade to Benzinga Pro? Yes. So Rodrigo just dropped his contact information there. If you have any questions about making sales work, if you have another Benzinga product or anything like that, Rodrigo is standing by on email and phone. Of course, he'll get back to you probably after this workshop is over. But he's going to be your person to help you get into the program. And then after that, you're in the very, very capable and trustworthy hands of our excellent support staff. We consider our customer success leaders, our customer support representatives, a feature of the product. That is we are putting forth the best possible human support that you can put forth. 5 to 10 minute maximum, absolute maximum, even on busy day response times. When you text in for support, when you call in for support, when you email in for support, no matter how you do it, you will get in touch with a human being that is also a trader. We hire traders at Benzinga. It's difficult to find the people, but we've got the best of the best. So these folks know what you're going through. And actually, in a lot of cases, if you're absolutely new, the support person you're talking to has probably got several years of experience trading under their belt, and is going to be very helpful for you. There are a lot of cases where you might just not understand how a feature works or something like that on the tech side, or you might not understand, something that somebody said in chat or something like that. If you got questions, just reach out to support. We call them our customer success team for a reason. It's a broad definition to make sure that you succeed. We succeed by your success. That is how we do it.
Yeah, and I do want to note really quick, Neil. I talk to a lot of users and a lot of traders in general here, but something that I see a lot is people are asking, "Oh, do you offer this?" Like somebody asked me, "Do you offer like block trades?" Right? Because I'm paying a company, $1,500 a month just to give me block trades. Well, I I don't know how I feel about that because, like, to be honest, block trades is only one of the thousands of tools that you have in Benzinga Pro. So, I do feel a little bad for people that do fall into those things where, people, offer you a fraction of 10,000 fractions of what we offer for 1,000 times the price. And, I feel bad because then like people are actually trying to get the education. People are trying to get the right tools, Neil. But, there's always going to be people that, will sell you one thing for like several $1,000s. Yet here we are giving you thousands of tools for a fraction. And this is a yearly subscription, guys. This is for the full year. Okay. 1683 for the full year with the laptop, with the mentorship, with Benzinga Pro, with all the scanners, with all the movers tool, everything that we showed you, advanced newsfeed, keyword research, 52-week highs and lows. Literally, we're giving you all of the tools so that you can be a successful trader, because everybody has a different style of trading, right? So it's about you finding your niche per se now.
Yep, absolutely. And Nic touched on what you just said, Rodrigo. So like Nic is going to give you his picks every day. And this is coming. I see Bun. I see your question. Does Nic give buy and sell alerts? Yes. When Nic is making a trade, he drops it in the chat. So you're trading together. That is what we're doing. So the answer to that is absolutely yes. If you work full time, yes, this is great for you. If you're a person who just wants instant satisfaction, just say, Nic, just tell me what stocks you're trading. Tell me how you're setting up your options trade, and why. I want to know why. If that's all you're looking for, you're getting it here. And then if you're looking for more than instant satisfaction, you want to do your own due diligence, and you want to learn to trade like Nic, so you can go forth on your own and graduate to being a self-sufficient, confident options trader with the tools that you need to continue doing so. You're getting that here as well. So whatever your time commitment, whatever level of, I suppose, effort you're looking to put forth, we've got it here for you. Of course, if you're just expecting to get rich quick with the push of a button, that's not what we're selling here. We're not selling dreams. We're not selling Lamborghinis. We're not selling yachts. We're not selling secret sauce. There's no secrets here. Nothing that we're doing is secret. All right. It's just the best. All right. We've got the best tool, and we've got Nic, who's got a decades long track record of a 90% win rate with his options trading strategy. All right. He didn't invent something new. He found what works for him, and he got really good at teaching it to people in a very understandable manner, very pedestrian, very, very easy for brand new people to pick up on. And that's the idea. That's the idea here. Okay. So no secrets, no goofy magic, no Instagram account where you're going to see Nic Chahine riding around on a, I don't know, like a diamond studded bicycle or some crap. This is the real deal.
We got some new members here, Neil. Definitely want to give them a shout out.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and shout them out?
Yeah, definitely. Guys, first of all, welcome to the Benzinga family. This is your new trading family. Okay. We stick together. No trader is left behind. Just want to shout out here, Ike, Felix, welcome to the family. Taradi Akashe, Jokujan, welcome to the largest options international community, guys. Welcome.
There you guys go. And that is what we do when we welcome new members. You guys are going to love it. I guarantee it. I 100% guarantee it. So we've got a bunch of questions. First off, I just want to say hey to Richard Judge over on YouTube. Hey, great to have you here, man. So who's a member? So shout out Richard. So let's see. Can I get alerts on phone? So Bun, you can open up Benzinga Pro on your phone and access the chat whenever you want. Rick, does this offer include options elite? Nope, that's a separate thing. This is, you're getting access to a chat where you're getting trade ideas all day, every day. And it is separate from the newsletter product that you're referring to. Different trade ideas, actually. So for new traders that are training, is there a video archive? We have, when you get in, Nick will give you videos for anything that you need to understand. And then here, I'll show you, actually. Check this out. We've got one of the best help sites on the internet. So I'm just going to type, this is our help site. So this is pro.benzinga.help. I'm just going to drop this in the chat so you guys have it. You guys can check this site out. Tell me what you think. And then I'm just going to search for options. Look at all these articles. What is an options, puts, definitions, uses? What is an option spread? When and how to book profits, call options, definitions, and uses, options 101, supercharging swing trades with options. How do I understand the options activity signal? This is specific to the several $100 a year feature that we're giving you for free as a gift, along with your Benzinga Pro subscription, the unusual options activity filter. So then let me talk about that for a second. Unusual options activity. And again, Rodrigo showed you that in Benzinga Pro. So if I go to options, this is very special. So this is when someone is spending a lot of money on an options trade, it gets printed on the tape and we track it. And we let you know when that's happening, because that means that someone probably knows something. They probably have some form of inside information, either legal or illegal. And we don't care about that. We just care that somebody knows something, and that gives us a hint that something might be going on and we need to take a closer look. That is something that is expensive for us to provide. So we charge extra for regular Benzinga Pro members to have that, but we're giving that to you for free with a subscription. When I type unusual options activity, I get all of these articles. Now look, unusual options activity strategy. All right. So we've got an actual strategy outlined here, very, very simple text, easy to understand. Let's go ahead and take a look at this add-on. Most of these articles will actually have videos that will teach you how to do everything that you need to know how to do. In addition, guys, check this out. Benzinga Pro course. I'm just Googling this. When you join Benzinga Pro, if you want to be a power user, there is a free class you can take right here. This is the link for Benzinga Pro course. I'm dropping the link in chat for you guys. Go ahead and check that out. Absolutely free. You can sign up, just create a login, and it will teach you everything you need to know about every nook and cranny of Benzinga Pro. All right. And that is just the side salad that you're getting along with Nic Chahine's chat room. Okay. That is all in addition to the daily trade ideas, every week, the Sunday breakdown for the week ahead, the plan, the mentorship, the review of what's going on in the markets, and the growth that you're going to get as an individual trader, because we want to take you from needing to rely on a mentor to trading alongside Nick. All right. We have people in chat that have gotten to the point that are giving ideas that Nick hasn't thought of. And then the whole group trades those ideas. It's just an amazing group. It's a feedback loop. Everyone's getting better and better as they adjust to the constantly evolving market. We're evolving with it. That's why it's so great to be part of a group.
That's the power of the community. Shout out to Monica for just joining.
There you go. Welcome, Monica. All right. So how much capital required for an options trade? It totally depends on what you're doing. By joining this, you can tell Nick what your account size is or whatever you're comfortable saying, and we can work out a strategy that works for you. Whether you have a $1,000 account or a $100,000 account, we can 100% make things work. So Bun, if you have a $590 account, you can definitely trade options, but you've got to work your way up. All right. There are certain techniques that we will discuss in the options room that you need to grow your account for. So you will want to learn how to manage your risk to make sure you're not losing any ground on that $590 account only gaining ground. So you'll adjust your strategy to your risk tolerance. With you have a very sensitive risk tolerance because you've got a small pie. You can't give away too many pieces of it. But with 590, yes, for spreading covered calls, yes, you need a margin account, 100%. I have a margin account. Most people have margin accounts. So there you go. Do you have a payment plan? If you need to work out something special, we might be able to do something if you contact Rodrigo, but generally we do not do those. But depending on a specific situation, we might be able to do something on a very limited basis. Yeah, Richard, exactly. One big community. C White, what will be the subscription cost without the laptop? The laptop is a free gift. All right, that's not factored into the price. I would say contact Rodrigo for anyone that has like another subscription or has any kind of special case where you want to get in to this deal. And you have like a special situation that's not just cut and dry, like go to the website and sign up. Contact Rodrigo. He's going to help you work out the details and figure out how to get you in. C White, and you can see Rodrigo's information right here.
Yeah, reach out, guys. At the end of the day, this is a noble cause. You guys are trying to get educated, and I can totally relate to that because I've been in your shoes as well. So more than happy to work with what you guys have, obviously.
Yep. And I mean, what haven't we talked about? So touched on the customer service. A lot of folks here that you'll find if you go to the Trustpilot reviews for Benzinga Pro, we'll touch on two things. Number one is what we have right here. I keep clicking on them. I shouldn't do that. It's at literally everything that you need. I mean, look at this feature list that I'm dropping down through here. This isn't even all of it. This is just the stuff that we have pages for on the site. We've got one thing that Rodrigo, I don't think you touched on our Squawk. But you guys hear about getting alerts to certain things happening in the market, things like unusual options activity, a spike in the price of a stock, a block trade, an opening gap, a 52-week high, a 52-week low. Those are basic things that you can get. But we have, I clicked on signals, but we have I think like 40-year Wall Street actual floor trader veteran, Charles, everyone calls him Benzinga Charlie, reading relevant, actionable information to you out over audio all day, every day. It's a broadcast. This is what is used by institutions as well. Institutions subscribe to our Squawk so that you're not scanning and pulling information to yourself. This is pushing information to you. So if something happens, like a really good example would be FDA approval. So like Pfizer FDA approval for booster shots or something like that. The second that hits a wire, or if there's a rumor that it's about to happen from an insider, that's going to be read out to you. You're going to get that in your ear. If you're at home trading at a computer, that's very, very easy for you to listen to. You can have that on your speakers, you can have it on your headphones. If you're working, if you're in the office, a lot of folks do this. They have Benzinga Pro on their phone and then they have their headset on. You know, you could be listening to the Spice Girls if you wanted to do that. But a lot of folks have full-time jobs and they're listening to our audio Squawk and making really fast trading decisions based on that. So you're getting that with this subscription. So that's all of this stuff is in one spot, which is just crazy. It's just, that doesn't exist anywhere else out there. And then another thing that you see mentioned here when you go through our Trustpilot reviews is that it's really, really good for beginners. And this is where I go back to our help site and this course. We are giving you videos, best support in the business, guidance from Nick in the chat room, everything that you need to understand all of the definitions, all of the strategies that are available, and all of the ways that you can leverage the information that you have at your fingertips in order to make actual trading decisions that make sense to you. You understand why you're doing what you're doing. All right. So just like I made the promise to you that at the beginning of this workshop, that you would come out with a better idea of what you want to apply to the markets on Monday, you're also going to evolve as a trader. And also it happens once you get better at trading, your lifestyle starts to change through the duration of your subscription. All right. You will be changed by this subscription. And what kind of free laptop, Allison asks? So the laptop will be a Windows laptop, brand name. So it'll be like HP, Dell, Lenovo. We do a lot of ThinkBooks. Acer. It will be a known brand name, trustworthy maker, with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM so that you can run all of your trading applications. And yes, it will run Benzinga Pro.
The other thing here, Neil, was that, I mean, you touched it very well with the Squawk. It's definitely for people that maybe want to use their eyeballs to read something like the advanced newsfeed, but they also want to be listening in on what else is happening in the market. Especially good for people that have full-time jobs or part-time jobs. If you're doing very repetitive, throw in those headphones, listen to something that will actually make you money and smarter, right? It's about time we get off Facebook and Instagram, guys, and we start putting our eyeballs and ears and senses into what really matters, into what really makes a difference. There's a reason we give you all these tools, right? You have the Squawk radio, you have the only pre-market scanner open pre-market and after hours. So if you're working full time, you can do it in the morning or you can do it at night. All of these tools were made to help you regardless of what situation you're in. If you are a full-time trader, if you are a part-time trader, if you have a full-time job and you want to learn how to trade, if you for example, are a single mom or you want to make money with your, you and your couple, you want to make additional revenue. A lot of you guys are here for that. A lot of you guys have businesses and want to make additional revenue. Maybe COVID slowed down your operations. Totally relatable, right? And this is why we're here to help you, because we know that even though, and this happened to me, the economy can slow down, but I'll tell you, when there's a crash, that's when a lot of people make a lot of money. So don't let one revenue income, pretty much be the end of you, right? If your business slows down, you need to survive. You need to find different ways to pretty much generate revenue. So people from different situations here, literally, this is for every type of trader or every person that wants to start and trade. Joku, I got your email. Thanks for joining. Guys, this is all about you. Okay. This is not about Neil or me. We're here for you. We're doing these workshops every Sunday to give you education, to show you the way, right? The way is not pumping up chat rooms on Reddit. The way is real education. The way is long-term account growth, making informed financial decisions. That's what this is about, guys. We are not trying to sell you lotto tickets or anything like that. You will get big gainers. That will come at its due time. But we are striving for consistent gains, because without consistency, you'll never finish. Without consistency, you won't find a pace. It's hard to pace yourself when you're just doing calls and puts and you're up 200% one day and then you're down 70 the other day and then your account's blown up. And who knows until when you will be able to access the markets again. So it's better to take the education when you start. There's a reason why we start learning at a very young age. That's why we go to school when we're young, and you have preschool, then you have kinder, and then you have middle school and high school and all that stuff. There's a reason why it's layered that way, right? So whenever you jump into the options market and you totally skip pre-K, middle school, high school, college, you skip everything and you want to go in there trying to do PhD level trigonometry, it's not going to work out, man. I'm telling you right off the bat, you are just throwing money away, right? And if you're doing that, you might as well give it to charity, guys, because here we don't want you to be throwing your money away. We want you to actually be a consistent trader that consistently makes revenue, right? This is like a small business. You have to invest if you want to get good results. You have to, nothing that is free is good. I heard this quote somewhere. I don't remember who said it. Free comes with a stick up your what, right? So that's why you want to get off the free stuff, because there's a price for the free stuff, right? And the price is very expensive. So you want to get the tools that you need so that you have that edge. That's how they call it in Wall Street, right? You need edge. You have to have some edge. But if you have no edge, or you think you have edge because you're on Reddit, that's not going to work out, man. Like, I'm talking from experience. I've lived through this. I've already, like, all the questions that you guys are asking, I had those questions at once, but ultimately the mentorship with Nic, the education with Nic, and a lot of hard work, a lot of time and dedication and discipline to follow the strategy. That's what we're here for, right? No lotto tickets, consistent long-term account growth.
Yep. Consistency is the name of the game. Any successful trader will tell you that. Any veteran professional trader will tell you that. It's not bragging about how much you're up on some option contract that you don't know much about the company or anything like that. That happens every once in a while, and that is awesome. We want that to happen, but that's something you do on top of your consistent income growth. And something I want to touch on here is here, hold on one second. Alexa's going, Alexa, stop. Alexa reminds me every day at 3:45 p.m. to close all my positions, and I have her set to go on weekends. I don't know why. I need to turn it off. All right. So anyways, so this reviewer right here, tons of info, but the price was too high for Ronnie V. All right. And I wish that Ronnie V was here right now, because we are giving you the most fire of fire sale discounts on Benzinga Pro with the Nic Chahine Options Mentorship Chat Room. All right, 69% off of what Ronnie was probably looking at back on February 1st of this year. All right, 69% off with full access to Benzinga Pro, plus the unusual options activity. Let me show you. When we go to options here on the website, there's a little asterisk next to it. You guys see that? All right. That asterisk is to let you know that this comes at an additional cost. We're giving this to you for free for the lifetime of your annual subscription. So that is coming with it. Plus, come on, a free laptop as a gift, because we want all of our chatters, all of our users, all of the Benzinga traders to be the most fitted, prepared. And honestly, we just want you guys to represent us the right way. You know, you guys are all trading right. You've got good strategy, consistent strategy, no funny business, just very serious about trading and having a good time while you do it. So let's see. Yeah, Rodrigo, do you want to talk about some winning picks that Nick has had recently? Rodrigo's muted. Oh, Nigel is saying up on Zoom. Oh, that was from Matt. Okay, yeah, Matt's really good too.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, leave me a voicemail. Don't worry, I'll get back to you. No problem. No worry about that. But yes, there's been some definite winners on Nick's chat. I mean, I've even participated in some of those. We caught Tesla from 600 to 700 on some nice calls there. We made, some good profits on FXI. I think we're probably the only group that made money on the Chinese stocks. I'm like 99% positive. Everybody else was losing, their entire life. And here we are trading the volatility. And that trade came from the chat room. Somebody asked about it. And you know what we did? Well, what Nick did, Nick said, okay, I'm not very bullish on Chinese stocks, but if you twist my arm, this is what I would do. He set up a nice credit put spread and, these other types of trades that he teaches in the chat room. And at that point, we all started banking on it. And ultimately, we follow his leadership. We know that, well, a lot of people sign up for this great educational service, not just for options, because even if you're not trading options, I'm going to tell you that you need to start looking at them at least, because that's a typical rookie mistake where you're like, oh, I don't do options, and you completely disregard them. That's really bad. Okay. You need to start looking at options, find those places that have a lot of interest, look at them and compare that with the chart, because that way you can find some really strong levels, right? You can get expiration dates. So you have a time frame, you use your calendars. You have to dig deeper, guys. Okay. There's no way you're just going to make money. Like, here you go, buy this. And, like, it's not that easy, right? You need to do some work. You need to actually, but with the tools, it's not that hard. With these tools, you will be able to do all these things. So comes to finding good trades on Benzinga Pro, you already have that. We went over this for like a long time. And then you can confirm or not confirm those trades with Nick, because many times you'll have somebody pop in and say, hey, Nick, I want to buy a call here at Moderna at 400, and pretty much buying a call at the top, right? So that's a typical rookie mistake. That I did that a lot, but we don't chase stocks, right? We have certain rules in the chat that we stick by, that we pretty much use as a community, so that we don't do these rookie mistakes, right? I don't know another way to call it, but at the end of the day, remember, your mistake is somebody else's profit, right? If you're not on the right side of the trade, there's something that is not clicking there, right? So you want to be on the good side of the trade. If you keep doing the same thing you're doing and you're still on the wrong side of the trade, something's off. Okay, you have to understand that something's off, And this, this revenge trading that I see happening a lot, happens a lot, and we all try to make our money back. So what do? We do even riskier plays to try to make our money back. And at that point, you get wiped out, my friend. You get wiped out. The market has no feelings, and the market does not care if that's all the money you've been saving for 20 years. The market does not care if you put your mortgage on that trade or those calls. There's no emotions in here. We need to stick to the facts. We need to stick to what works, to what's been proven to work consistently over time, right? So the typical options trader here, I mean, I don't even need to ask because I already know you're just doing calls and puts and you're going way out of the money. And then you don't even know why your contract is going down. You don't even know why it's going down if the stock is flat. There's a lot of things that are kept in the dark for a specific reason, because knowledge is power. The less people have it, the more valuable it becomes. And that's why we are pretty much, democratizing financial education. We're democratizing access to these tools because they were not available 10 years ago or less. This was only available for hedge funds. This was only available for equity firms that, have above 10 mil on the balance sheet with high value private equity clients. This is information that was not available to you, me, anybody in retail. This is why this is so important, because now that you do have access to the tools, it's time that you do your part of the job, right? It's time that you do the research, the education, because now you have the tools. You didn't even have them before to begin with, right? So now that you actually have the tools, you need to do the educating yourself part with a mentor, right? Because if you think you're learning and you're going off by everything you're reading off of the internet, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've seen it a lot. I don't say anything, but at the end of the day, that's why we're here, because we want to make a change. We want retail traders to start being successful and start getting, information from the wrong places. As you know, all these pump and dump chat rooms, they have bots spreading, fake information and all this stuff and trying to get you emotional. Guys, this is not middle school. This is not high school. We are grown adults trying to make a living here, trying to make good trades, trying to pay the bills and more. So we leave those emotions out the door when we start trading here. This is not one of these places where you're going to hear these kid responses. That's not how we do things here. We're adults here and we understand why we're here. We're here to make money. It's that simple, right? That's why we're giving you these tools, because we want you to be successful. So everybody here is a verified trader, a verified user. There is no bots here. There's no people that get hired to spread fake information. We are very clear about that. So we're here to protect retail. We're here to empower retail. We know you got the short end of the stick, but that's not the case anymore. Now it's up to you, right? Do you have the discipline? Do you have the work ethic? Do you have really what it takes to become a successful options trader? Because you will need the tools. You will need the mentorship. If you try to wing this on your own, you will pretty much do the opposite of what the goal of this is, to help you become a better, more informed financial options trader, right? We don't want you to go out there and buy all your life savings and calls out of the money on meme stocks. Okay. That's not what we want you to do. That's where everybody blows up. We want you to stay in the market as long as you can, because that's what it is. It's all about timing. If you're only going to be in the market for 2 months, that's it. You're gone. You didn't even give it a shot. You literally fell into the trap of what big money wants you to do, right? They want you to make these mistakes. They want you to buy calls, way out of the money so that you don't know what you're doing. And then on top of that, they profit whenever these calls expire worthless, right? So it's time that you take your financial future into your own hands, right? Stop letting big money determine your financial outcome. It's time that you take the steps needed to get there, get the education, get the mentorship with Benzinga Pro, join the community, the biggest options international trading community out there. I mean, at this point, guys, if you don't want to learn, if you don't want to be successful, that's on you, because we're giving you everything you need here, right, Neil?
Absolutely, Rodrigo. It is really everything, down to the computer that you can use to do it. And we got a couple questions here. I want to thank everyone that participated in the poll on YouTube. I asked, would you like to use options to generate income? We got 100% yes. On Zoom here, we got a few more responses than we got on YouTube. Would you like to use options to generate income? We got 97% yes. Of course. And that's what this is about, is an undercurrent of of consistent income generation. That's what the strategy is about. That's what this tool is to give you. And then sprinkling on top of that, you get a little ice cream sundae of a strategy, a discipline strategy for income. Then you throw some sprinkles on, which are those big money movers. Those big money movers. That's that smart money watch list that Rodrigo showed you guys earlier on Benzinga Pro. That's that support.com trade. That's that ALF trade. So a couple questions here. The link says a 50% discount. All right, let me clear that one up. So I'm going to open up the checkout page you guys are probably seeing when you guys click the link that we're showing you. All right. Actually, hold on. Let me show you the pricing here. So Benzinga Pro with the options mentorship is normally $347 a month. All right. Then when you get the annual version, you get 19% off of that. All right. But that's not enough for you guys. We're trying to give you a deeper deal than that. So in addition to that 19% off, we're giving you another 50% off of the thing. All right. You can do the math, what that comes down to a monthly, if you break that down over a month, 12-month period. So there you go. That's how we arrive at that 69% discount. Absolutely the best deal. Absolutely the best deal available until midnight with that laptop and the mentorship from Nick. Michael, I got you. Thank you. That was a very good question. And then so Edward has a really good question. What is the easiest, safest options trade to do to learn by trial and error? So let me break this question apart. What is the safest options trade to learn by trial and error? Number one, trial and error is not a way to succeed. Before you, what's an example? Before you go rock climbing on the side of a cliff, you're going to learn how to use the ropes and a harness, right? You're not going to just start climbing up the side of a cliff. If you go rock climbing, give me a 1 in chat. If before you go rock climbing on the side of a cliff, let's see, Alex, if you're Alex Honnold and you're this guy, give me a 1 in the chat. If before you do this, you want to learn some stuff and prepare. You want just a 1 if you want to do some preparation. I'm not saying anything crazy. Just give me a 1 in chat if you think you want to do some preparation before that. Give me a 2 if you don't want to prepare. Right, guys? So trial and error is not the way to climb up the side of a cliff. Okay? It's the same thing with your money. It's the same thing with your money. You want to have a very, very clear strategy for what you're going to do. And yes, you want to start off small. I get what you're saying, Edward. You want to start off small. You don't just go to El Capitan. You know, you don't just climb one of the biggest and most notoriously difficult climbs on the planet as your first one. Of course not. You start off small. But you have some lessons and a clear strategy going into it. So that's it. We don't do trial and error. That is not, you're not going to see that in the chat. I guarantee that. There's no, let's try it and see if it works. No, it's we have an educated forecast on what the reward would be on this, and this is how much we could lose. So every time we go in, we never do anything without knowing how much we can lose. All right. We always know the exact amount that we can lose. All right. And then we have a target with an educated reason for our target on how much we can gain. And that's like the minimum. All right. Because with options, it can go up and up and up. And then the other thing that was in the question that I wanted to address, so you had the trial and error, and then what is the simplest type of options trade? So what I want to say is that your account and your risk tolerance is going to decide that, what you are comfortable with. So I'll say 2 things. Number one is that if you're just doing a single leg call, so let me share a trade with you. This is a recent trade from Nick. And this was puts on, and he talked about this on EWG. So I'm going to put this in the Zoom. Boom. So ticker EWG. And then this was the trade. That was it. Very, very simple. I'm going to put this on YouTube. This was the trade made recently, EWG. So it's on YouTube. It's on Zoom. Going into that, we know our maximum risk. All right. So we all know that if 90 cents is the price per contract, that's a $90 risk for each contract that we buy. So 100%, that's the most we can lose. But on top of that, did you know, give me a 1 if you knew this, give me a 2 if this is new for you, that you can put a stop loss on a call or a put, that you can put a stop loss on an options trade. All right. So when we're doing these, this is like, you want to, how I do these, if I'm doing a put on EWG, which is I'm essentially shorting the German market. All right. I'm putting a 25% stop loss on my put contract. So the most I'm willing to lose on that is 25% or 25% of every $90 that I put into that. Plain and simple. All right. So I know exactly how much I'm going to lose. Now, that's pretty simple for you, right? That's pretty simple. Oh, it's not on the screen. It's in the chat, guys. I put the trade in the chat. Oh, wait, no, shoot. Okay. So the Zoom people can't see it because I put it to, sorry. There you go, guys. There's the trade. And this is not a recommendation. This is not anything that I'm saying that I would do now. This is from the past. Okay. This is a past example. And you can see here, we've got this maximum risk is that negative 0.9 debit. That's $90. That's the maximum possible risk. But on top of that, you're doing your stop loss because you're a disciplined trader and you're not leaving things up to chance. And the amount that you're leaving up to chance is a very small percentage. That goes back to the definition of risk at the very beginning of this video. We're trying to bring this whole thing full circle. And then we've got some winning trades. So speaking of some trades, is that a naked put? Isn't that rare? Harish, no, that's not rare at all. Buying a put is not rare whatsoever. That's a way that you can hedge your position if you're long something and you think it might be disrupted. It's also a way if you think something's going to go down, it's a safer way to short it than outright short selling it. So that's one way to do it. That's a very simple way. But then if you've got a margin account and it's large enough, Nick makes the spreads easy. Let me give you a spread example on the same exact trade. Oh, actually, no, that one he only did single leg. Let me give you another spread example. And then Rodrigo has some previous trades that he wants to share with you too.
Yeah, from the chat room. Recent
from the chat room. So this is a credit put spread. Check this one out. All right. This is how we construct a credit put spread. I'm putting that in the Zoom chat, putting that in the YouTube chat. Sorry about how all the text is stuck together. That's just how I copy and pasted. But that's as simple as it is to construct. You need a margin account to do it. So it just depends on your account. It depends on your tolerance, which should come down to, okay, this is how much I make a year from my normal job or from trading. If I trade full time, this is how big my portfolio is. All right. And, you know, I don't think anyone should ever be putting more on a trade, ever be putting more than 10% of their portfolio's total value on a single trade. And that's aggressive. All right. A lot of folks will say 1%, 2%, whatever. So there you go. So, okay, Rodrigo, let's take a look. Can you share your screen and show us some of those trades, or is it a screen share thing, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, we can screen share it if you want to, bring me in there.
Yeah, go ahead. You can here. I'll stop the share. We'll get rid of the rock climbers. I'm getting compliments on the analogy. Thank you. And then Harish, Rodrigo, while you're getting there ready, Harish is asking, does Nick tell people how many contracts or percent of portfolio per alert? No, that's up to you. Nick tells you what he's trading.
Okay, so we're going to go over the first trade. I have a couple here that I want to go over with you guys. So we actually were able to profit from here on the chat room, right? We caught the falling knife.
Wait, hold on. Are you sharing something?
Are we sharing? Let me.
No, not yet. I don't see anything.
Let me share it. 1 second. There you go. I think it's showing.
Yeah, now it is. No, I see pro.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is included, like we said, guys, in the options mentorship. So as you can see there, we caught the falling knife on SPY, and as well on this particular dip. So as you can see, SPY and SPX, those were the biggest wins we had there in the chat room. But the actual breakdown of the SPX we caught in the chat room, 50 cents options turned into like $5 to $7. So people that put in $50 on that, turned it into $500. So I saw a question about the small account, Neil. How much do you need to trade? Well, one of these contracts was selling for 50 cents. So those 50 cents turned into 500. And look, I mean, like I said, home runs will come, but they will come at due time, right?
Yeah.
So that's one trade. The other one we caught here was the IWM. I don't know. Nick always charts these, the main indexes. As you can see right here, caught the falling knife too. This is small caps. Okay. Remember, you do have a filter on these tools, on the advanced newsfeed and the scanners to go for small caps. IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, beautiful falling knife, falling into support. Guy knows what he's doing, right? That was just one. I will show you another falling knife that we caught, which I actually was able to get into as well. This is Pinterest. I don't know if you guys were able to see what happened here, but it fell on earnings. And then at this point, 53, we caught the falling knife. We were able to profit from that one as well. HLT is another one that I want to give you. These are the most recent ones. As you know, there's a lot, but I'm just giving you some of the most popular stocks here. HLT, beautiful, catch the falling knife, right? The other one here I want to show you, LVS. This one's from the chat room as well. Every pick I'm giving you that we profited is from the chat room, okay? 37, I mean, you buy calls on this puppy and you're golden, right? So you can play it the way you want it, to be honest. Nick is always there to let you know the best way we can do that. The other falling knife we caught, I mean, come on, Pin Duo. Beautiful falling knife we caught here. Nice gap up, right? 70 to 96, almost to 100. Okay. That's another winning trade we had. Another falling knife we caught that we profited from. You see, guys, we make money on bull markets, bear markets, ape markets, choppy markets, any markets. Another beautiful winner right here. TTCF, catching the falling knife, baby. All day, every day, winning picks on the chat room. These are all picks from the chat room. They're only in the chat room. This is another one. Lucky enough to get in. Look at this beautiful break off resistance right here, guys. How are we catching all these beautiful trades? Well, we just follow the strategy with Nick, guys. My Lord. Jeez. I mean, shout out to Nick. Hold up. We got to give a round of applause to Nick. Let's go, guys. Give a shout out to Nick. Shout out to Nick for helping the community here.
Look at that gap.
This is a wild gap, but you see, this is what we're doing in the chat room, Neil. I mean, we're just finding winning picks. We share the picks with the community because that's what it's all about, right? We're not selfish with our picks. We've been giving you picks here, guys, that have been working out great, but ultimately they come from the chat room, right? I don't remember if, I think you might remember, Neil, when I was going over this with Pro, and I told you that it looked like this would be a good part for an entry on, remember the diabetic company I told you about that, like to measure your glucose levels?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right here, you and I picks that we trade here from the chat room. We bring them to Nick, right? We got in here at $3, sold it for, I mean, I'm still in it. This one has options. So if you would have bought a call here as well, when we called it out, I mean, you'd be up like a very, very nice amount. So these are some of the trades that we are doing there in the chat room. As you can see, the risk is very low. The reward is very high. And on top of that, you have Pro where you can go over all these tools. So this is just a sneak peek.
Yeah, that's just a peek. And Rajesh asked a really good question. Are you guys just cherry picking? So here's my response to that. We have picks that go the other way. Happens. It's not as near. We have a 90% win rate on our spreads. That's it. So 10% of the time it doesn't go our way. We put in very tight stop losses, very tight risk management and all that sort of thing. But of course, markets go up, markets go down. There are events that make trades go against you. Nick is very, very clear in every single one of his videos, every time he talks about something, of what the downside risk is and what he's going to do if it doesn't go the direction he wants it to go. Risk management. Anyone in here that's already here's an example. Here's some text from Nick. I'm dropping it in I'm dropping it in both chats for you guys, so you guys can see it. That's text directly. Oh, it's too big for YouTube. Directly from Nick on a recent pick. All right. This is what I'm going to do if this trade goes against me, that's part of the education. That's part of the game. Anyone that tells you they win constantly they're probably lying.
I do want to just add there really quickly. The strategy that we're using in the chat room, guys, is we're doing credit put spreads quite often. So we understand risk. I understand that if you're new in options, you might have some misconception of what options it really is. There's more to it than calls and puts, my friend. Yeah. And that's what we're doing here. So if you know how a credit put spread works, you already know your risk, right? So if a trade goes against you, we already know what happens. We own the stock at a cheaper price and we make money on the way down. So I can show you a loser and I still banked on it. So ultimately, it comes down to what you know. Like if you know what you're doing, that's why we have measured risk. We know that if, what happens if the stock goes down, we have our risks already laid out. We know exactly what is the plan if the stock goes through where we sold that put. We know what to expect. So, if you're just doing calls and puts, well, that's different, right? That means you're just a call buyer and a put buyer. Mm-hmm. You need to look at yourself as a complete options trader, because it's like when all these equity firms went bust in the 90s because they all thought stocks went up forever and a lot of them went out of business. Well, we're taking steps towards that. That's why we don't just do naked calls and naked puts. That's why we are doing spreads, specifically credit put spreads, because if you were to know how they work, you'd understand that, what our downside is, what the risk is, and be comfortable with it or not. Because if you're not, there's probably another way you can trade it. But ultimately, you have to take some risk if you're trying to make, a revenue here in the market. There's no way that you're going to make money without taking risks. You have to take that step out, right? Of just get out of your comfort zone of just doing calls and puts. You need to learn credit put spreads very well, because if not, you're not a complete options trader. You're a partial options trader. And that's why we're here. We want to give you the education so that, look, if you bought a call here, you made insane gains, right? That's true. You made insane gains if you bought calls. You also made insane gains if you bought a credit put spread. Okay. So you can play it many different ways. You have a different risk profile than I do. We have different accounts. We have different strategies, and we have different ways of trading in general. So if you are a little bit more on the, not the risky side, well, you can do a credit put spread and still bank on this, right? If you are looking for this as a quick momentum trade, hey, buying a call to take advantage of momentum is not a bad thing, right? But we have to know when to use what we know. But if you only know calls and puts, it's very basic, very primitive, Neil. We need to know everything that's in our arsenal, is what I'm saying, right? If you have a bazooka there, use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a time for the straight up call. There's time for the straight up put. All right. But in most situations, we're more evolved than that. Absolutely. And that goes right to Rajesh's question. There are other strategies. What about butterflies or calendars and diagonals, all theta positive? Everything that we're talking about is spreads. Everything that you just mentioned, Rajesh, is a spread. Those are all we're speaking the same language. We're just not using those fancy terms. And that's kind of our promise to you and everyone else in the chat room, is that we're not using fancy buzzwords for what we're doing. We're trading options. All right. We're managing risk, and we're growing our capital. And we're understanding how options work and constructing things. So you can have a different word for how you approach stuff. There's lots of different things, and they actually change over time. Like Nick was talking about, the poor man's covered call. There are different buzzwords that come up all the time once Reddit figures out they can trade options on Robinhood. You know what I mean? So we're talking about spreads. Is there a recommended portfolio size and broker to start with? Harish asks. Nope. Any portfolio size is fine. Brokerage doesn't matter as long as you can trade options. And we recommend having level 3 options unlocked on that brokerage. And I just asked a question in the Zoom chat. I am ready. I just want you guys to confirm this. And if you guys haven't seen the poll, just let me know using the number 1. I am ready to start managing risk and growing my portfolio.
Yes, 100%. That's the next step. You see, like, humans had to evolve as well. Okay. It's time that as an options trader, you evolve as well. You can't stay stuck in the directional trade of, if it goes up, I won the lotto. If it goes down, I can't pay my rent. Like, you just can't live that way, man. You need consistency in your trading. You can't just go about trying to, because otherwise that's gambling. That's not what we're doing here, guys. We're not here to give you like gambling picks like that. We really want you to be educated by a mentor that will help you get where you want to be. We understand it's not easy, but that's why Nic is there. And also these amazing tools. So yeah, not every trade is a winner. Tell me somebody that says that, and I'll call him a liar, no doubt. But you need to have more winners than losers, and you need to manage your risk.
Yeah.
We do those both very well. We manage our risk, and we're not chasing headlines. We were here before this pop. So that's what I'm saying. You need to have a mentor that understands the markets, sector rotations, implications of higher interest rates, lower yields, bond prices, all these things that really impact the market. And back to my main point, there's more than just buying and selling going on in the markets. There are international factors that you probably have no idea that impact what you are trading. So if you're starting, this is probably a great place to start, because Nic does know the markets. We made a great trade with TLT, 20-year Treasury bond ETF. Basically, everybody was against this trade. As you can see right here, right about here, we got into in the chat room. You could have bought calls or credit put spread. You make money on both. It doesn't matter. Everybody was against it. CNBC was against it. Everybody on Wall Street was negative. Nic took the other side of the trade. And as you can see, you already know who was right. So it's not about following the crowd, guys. It's about trusting your research and pretty much being on the right side of the trade. So that's not going to be easy if you're just starting, but that's why you have a mentor. Okay. There's no mentors for other stuff like that. If I go to the casino and say I want a mentor, like, that's not the right place to ask that, guys. So that's why we're giving you this here. We understand that you want to be a professional options trader and you need a helping hand. Okay. We're giving you the best tool out there, and we're giving you Nic. And the chat room really gives you full access to him. As you can see, he's out here whipping out trades and talking with the members. So that's what I love to see. Full community.
Absolutely. And guys, we are at our time. Rodrigo and I gotta get going. So what I'm going to do is give you guys about 60 seconds to drop your final questions in there. Edward asked, can you show me on your screen where you follow Nic? Well, that's the chat room there on the left that Rodrigo has open. What level should one be at to get this program? This is from day one beginners to veterans. All right. We've designed this to be for everybody. Does Nic use his own money to trade his recommendations? Yeah. And all Nic's doing is telling you what he's trading. And then the rest of the chat, like, sometimes contribute like their ideas, and sometimes are really good. And Nic will say, yeah, that's a good idea. I would take that trade.
Oh, just want to point out here that Nic is there all day. Like, he's there all day, even on weekends. I'm scrolling through it. He's not.
He doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. All right, guys. So you've got that link. If you don't want to have all of your trading tools that you could ever need in a beginner friendly, best of class, support backed format, with like-minded people all in one chat, then go somewhere else. If you don't want to have the mentorship of someone that has a 90% win rate and has been trading options to generate income for over 30 years, guiding you, giving you their strategy, and treating you like a peer, go somewhere else. If you don't want to have a free laptop just for signing up to join the best community, go somewhere else. And if you don't want 69% off of everything that you need to get your journey started, or put a shot in the arm of your journey where you are at today, go somewhere else, definitely. But if all of that sounds good to you, make sure you act before midnight, because we are taking this offer off the table at midnight. And then Chris Cummings, I'm an idiot, but thought this was at 1 p.m. PST. Yeah, we are Eastern time. We're stock market time. guys. Is there a recording of this? We will try to get a recording out to you if you missed it. We will do our best.
I just want to point out really quick, Nick, I'm sorry, Neil. A lot of people that take this course are not even able, well, I mean, there are people that take this because you know that you need to like request permission from the brokerage, Neil, to trade certain types of options.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that come in here just for the education so they can get approved for that higher options trading tier because they don't know what they're doing. They admit it. And they come here to get the education so that they can actually do that. So even if you can't do these types of trades, there are people that just join here only for the education, just for the education. Just want to point that one out, Neil.
Yep. And Mike, I saw you a bunch in chat, and now I see that you've joined the family. So welcome to the family and congratulations, my friend. We're very, very happy to have you. I think I heard the horn. It was kind of quiet. But thank you guys. We are taking off. The offer is available until midnight. You've got the link in front of you. I'll leave it on for just a second. And Rodrigo, I want to give you the final word.
Well, number one, this has been a great workshop, guys. Every time we come here, we're able to, go over this beautiful platform. To me, it gives me a sense of happiness because we're making a difference. We're making an impact in the market. And this impact that we're making is for the little guy, right? The little guy has always been given the short end of the stick. And that's why we're here, right? Because we want you to be a successful options trader. We want you to have the tools to be able to do that. It's not just saying it, but you need tools, right? That's why you have these charts. These are trading view charts, meaning that you don't have to pay for a new subscription. If, instead, I don't like having different subscriptions in different spots. I like to have everything in one place. So you do have that. And I just wanted to go over really briefly here. You can look at the session volume, the average volume, look at the demand. If there's additional demand for that particular time, you can look at the short float. You can look at the short percentage of float. Guys, we just added this, okay? We added this because retail traders need access to the information. So you have all these beautiful tools. We're giving you the education. And on top of that, everything else that helps you, right? On top of the unusual options activity, the laptop, if you're doing research on your phone, it's time you step up your game, my friend. So everything we do here is to help you become a better trader. So I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate you guys taking your education seriously. It's about time, because if you're not making informed financial decisions for yourself, somebody else will make those for you. So thank you for joining, guys. I want to give you guys a round of applause for participating, for being part of the community, for being part of this beautiful adventure that we're all on. So shout out to you guys for taking your education seriously, guys. Definitely, we want to let you guys know we care about that as well. Right, Neil?
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself, guys. So thanks so much for spending this time investing it into your growth on a Sunday. And we will see you all in the future, and hopefully in the Options Pro Mentorship chat room on Benzinga Pro. Take care, guys, and happy trading.